You know, it's long form, right? So we're gonna
be here for 3 days.
Yeah. Seriously, probably could be.
Okay.
So other really, really important thing. What do I call you? Because so you were Kim, and then you became Gina, and then you became Gina Kim, and you pretty much been Gina Kim for like the last couple decades.
That's because I grew up with the name Kim because my mother's from Thailand. So she was like, instead of people constantly mispronouncing her Asian name, she said, I'll use Gina and you be Kim. And I didn't even know my name was Gina. I found a birth certificate.
Yeah.
And it said Gina K. Hyatt.
So when
and I said, who's that? And she was like, you. So I started using it when I first came here, and I wasn't used to it yet. So that's why people still know me by Kim
and Gina.
And then I just let people whatever they're more comfortable with.
Well, I call you Gina Kim because that's like what I've been saying for the last
There's
2
decades.
decades.
That if they called me Gina, I'm like,
who are you? So we can go either direction. We can go Gina. We can go Kim.
I like Gina better. But
okay, so then we'll go Gina Kim because that's like how
because
that's literally what I've been calling you for the last 2 decades. You were
like
Kim.
Gina better than Kim.
Maybe that's why. This is Purple Highs. I'm Mark Bondi here with my co-host
DJ Dudley D.
And we are chronicling the days of Wild. Prince was so cool that back in the day he used to open up parties to everyday people. And there are people that lived in the Minneapolis scene that saw Prince over and over and over and over again. And the mission of Purple Highs is to be able to tell those stories, carry on that legacy, and get the stories out there, right? If you look at the broader landscape, the musicians have had their forums to tell stories, and the celebrities have had their forums. But, where's the stories of the fans that spent countless experiences with him? So
our guest just put her hands up.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm talking about.
She's like, let me talk.
That's
why are you still talking, Mark?
No.
So we're gonna jump right in.
Is it my turn?
Is it my turn? It is your turn. So we're here today. Dudley and I, we're going to be interviewing Gina Hyatt, to some of us known as Kim, Gina Kim.
Yeah.
We go way back, Gina.
Yeah, we do.
I mean, it's been a minute.
You used to read books. I used to see you reading books at the bottom of just standing at the end of the night reading books, and I'd be like, "What are you reading today?"
You're showing my nerd card.
Yeah. And then remember, we were both reading. We knew you were the only person I knew that knew about Conversations with God.
Neil Donald Walsh.
Yeah, those. I went to see him in person.
When?
I can't tell you. It was years ago.
Yeah. I remember those conversations. I remember that first time we started talking about it. It's been a minute. So, so you didn't just end up at Paisley Park talking to me about Neil Donald Walsh one day. Tell us, just to kind of get the story and some context for people. Tell us about kind of your history. How did you get to Minneapolis? What happened? Let's before we get to how did you get here? Where were you before Minneapolis? I know you're not from here. So.
No, maybe Vegas. Okay,
so Vegas.
So I was one of those that I was kind of floating around, left home. So I think I was in Vegas. No, I was in New York.
Okay, where'd you grow up?
Queens, New York.
Queens, New York. So you lived most of your life in Queens?
Most of my life in Queens. But my mother moved everywhere. I lived in Virginia, all over the place. I lived in L.A., Vegas.
Why was she moving around?
I think she was paranoid.
Okay. Good enough reason.
Asian woman. I don't know. We're growing up in America. Just different situations. But yeah, I was living in New York, and I happened to get kicked out of my mom's house again. And I had just turned 21, I think. And I was on a payphone in Queens, right on Jamaica Avenue.
We know about payphones.
The last one just got taken in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so
really?
I'm on the payphone. Yeah, I'm on the payphone, and my brother, someone who my brother was like, I'm in Minneapolis now because my mother kicked him out.
Yeah.
So he said, you need to come here, and literally, I don't mean to sound funny, but I said, no, farmland, like I grew up in New York, so you have to understand. I'm like Minnesota.
Yeah.
And he's like, no.
Big city.
He's like, you love Prince. Prince is everywhere. You need to come here. And that wasn't it. And I was like, I'm standing on like the street in Queens on the phone, and I'm home. And he's like, besides, you have no choice. I was like, oh, yeah, you're right. I'm home. So he sent me a Greyhound ticket, March of 91.
What?
Wow.
I got here, and I actually lived on Girard, across from Calhoun. Like, I could step out of the apartment and see Calhoun Square, and we used to go to the pizza place there and
Wait.
that grocery store on the corner.
You know, Dustin lived on Girard.
Yeah, we lived on Girard. Like, literally, Girard.
Wait.
Yeah,
we lived
91.
like 3 blocks away from each other.
There's reasons why we're in this.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because you're 33rd, and she would have been what, like 29th or something?
31st.
No, yeah,
31st?
31st and Girard. Yeah.
We used to walk by your house.
So March, so it must have been right after the big snowstorm.
So were you into Prince growing up?
Yeah.
Like,
I was made fun of. Like, this is the thing. So people
That's a
think,
common theme on
that,
this podcast.
But yeah, it's a common theme. Most people say, yeah, I came here because of him. But I truly didn't. Like, if my brother said, I'm in Alabama and you don't have a choice, I have a house here, that's where I would have been.
Okay.
So it happened to be Minneapolis. But growing up, I dyed my hair. I had a haircut like Sheila E. and I dyed my hair. I used to lock myself in the room and pretend I was Vanity. And my mom was like, ew, Prince, ew. I made her take me to Under Cherry Moon.
Oh.
And she was mortified. Like, throughout the movie, she's like, ew, he thinks he's good looking. But an Asian accent. She's like, look at him. He think he good looking. What is this? And I was like, oh my God. And yeah, so I drove her nuts with Prince. Oh, yeah.
Do you remember the first Prince record you got?
The first one, Controversy.
Okay.
I used to think he was weird. I remember walking past the TV looking, I think he was singing Solid Gold Soul, because that's what I grew up watching. And I looked at him and was like, who's that? But didn't think twice. I was younger. Got more into him, actually, confession-wise, Purple Rain.
Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah. If someone had the album, the minute I watched the video, I was in love with Michael Jackson. Had like Michael Jackson posters from the ceiling to the floor. Watched When Doves Cry, just looked at Prince, and that was it. Went home and tore all the posters down, and I was into Prince from that moment.
And Michael was gone.
Gone.
So
Michael is dead to me.
That's it.
just
That yellow sweater
And my mother
is
was
getting
more.
flushed.
I had to hide remember the Controversy poster?
Yep,
He's
I
in the
do.
shower. I had to hide that behind my room door, and my mom going, she's like, and she ripped it.
So, like,
That's
would you?
amazing.
So dramatic.
So growing up, so you get in, you rip Michael Jackson off the wall,
Yeah.
and you're like, Michael Jackson's
No,
dead
Prince
to me.
is- and all I did was
Hold
look
on,
at
was
Prince.
that pun intended? Off the wall? You
Off-
ripped Michael Jackson off the wall?
It was.
Okay.
Hold
Hold on, I just want to date that. Solid Gold, though. Little Red
Solid Gold
Corvette.
Soul.
That was 1983.
Thanks.
Put the timestamp on it. So you're getting into him though. Like, I mean, are you listening to other people too, or is like Prince? Like,
No, I
your
grew up
guy?
around a mother who listened to like Pointer Sisters, Dionne Warwick, and so
Nice.
I probably already, like, I remember the day she was like, listen to this song, and it was Off the Wall.
Yep.
No, we don't need no education.
Pink Floyd.
The Wall.
Thank
The
you.
Wall.
And she's like, this is a good song. So my mother was into music, oddly, and soul
Yep.
music. So I grew up on American Bandstand, Solid Gold, so all of this stuff.
But Prince was just
Just caught it
too-
was, and weirdly it was just, I looked at his eyes. I was a typical girl, probably 14. He got out the bathtub and I was like, and that was it.
Yeah,
And that was it. for me.
had
And
to.
then I'm reading the album, like when it says, you asked me if I can cook. I can only cook eggs. And I remember he said the only thing I can cook is besides a baby.
Yeah.
And I remember turning the cover over and looking at him like he said, baby, then turning back and said, why do you look at me that way? And I was like, oh.
Yeah, and he was.
So it was meant to be.
Yeah, so he was talking to you through
That's
all of
crazy.
that stuff.
Oh my God. And I loved Vanity. I thought Vanity was like the most epitome of, sensuality. And I was into the whole thing.
So were you album by album? Hey,
No.
this gets released, and I'm gonna go buy
No,
it.
no,
or?
no. I didn't. I'll admit it. I didn't like his earlier stuff. I just got into
Okay.
him. But then I like
But-
Controversy.
Yeah, but once you started getting into Purple Rain, like, were you following, like, once he released something, like, Prince
yeah.
has something new and Prince has a new look, or were you just kind
I
of
think
like,
so. I mean, I was walking around. People thought it was weird. I remember going to a concert. The first concert it was Around the World in the Day
okay,
tour.
tell us about that
Madison
show.
Square Garden.
Tell us about that
I
show.
was-
Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, and it was when they were giving out the bumper stickers. I still have it. The bumper sticker says Prince for President, 1984.
Nice.
But I was actually, because of my story, I was going back to the group home. And so there was a place where we were, upstate New York, where I was sent to because I was incorrigible. And
It happens.
and so I was with someone, and we made a detour, and we're walking by Madison Square Garden, and we're like, what's going on? Everybody's waiting online. So the guy goes, and I had all these Prince albums in my bag because I was moving my stuff
Yep.
to this room in the group home. So he comes back, and he goes, it's Prince, and I got 2 tickets. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, what? And literally, and I remember we had the nosebleed seats. And I remember it started off and he comes out. And there was just a part where he stood on the piano and he had everybody doing the whole, I don't even know what you call it with your hands.
Right.
Yeah, the dance with the hands.
The crisscrossing thing, like during under.
He was doing TikTok dances before
remember
TikTok.
literally he looked up because we were the only ones, and I sat back because our eyes caught, and I sat back down, and this girl's going, "Did you see that? He looked at you," and I was like, and I was 14, and that was it.
That was it.
Didn't think twice about it. I'm in upstate New York.
Did you see him again in New York then?
No.
Okay.
My mother wouldn't let me go to the Syracuse.
Yep.
She would not. She said, "You're too young. It's too young for you to go to a concert."
So you're into Prince. You're listening to him over the years.
I make it to Minneapolis.
You
suddenly.
make it to Minneapolis. Your brother's living here.
My brother's living here.
And you like Prince. And,
like Prince,
I mean, you're
not thinking anything still.
Yep.
And suddenly I'm going, oh, I want to see, like any fan, let's go to First Avenue.
Shout out to your brother, though.
I know.
Bringing you here.
Word, Daniel. So we go to First Avenue, still not, whatever. And then I start making it to Glam Slam. And I don't remember how I make it, but I always went upstairs.
What's upstairs at Glam Slam?
VIP. So upstairs was known as heaven, downstairs was known as earth. And that was when Prince was like, his symbol was everywhere. And,
right.
So we're hanging, I don't know how I just upstairs all the time. And
so let's just slow down just a little bit.
Yeah.
Talk to us about how did you end up at Glam Slam the first time? Did somebody
Don't
bring
even
you
know.
there?
Don't even
or was
remember.
there like a story behind it?
I
or
think
was
it was just
like,
a club to be. It was Glam Slam.
Yeah,
I'm here.
And I do remember walking through it, and I actually.
But you knew it was Prince's club, right?
Yeah.
So you're like, I'm
but
going.
I didn't put it together. Like, these are things, you go from just being in New York, listening to his music, I'm way into him, I'm dressing like him, doing all that weird stuff. And then you come here and it's a whole different, like, oh, this is really cool. And Low Key at the time was a big band and they were hanging out. Like, it was all that circle.
Yep.
And it was, I don't know. I think we just went and I
you
made
were
it
there.
upstairs somehow. And I don't remember how.
So tell me, as
Gina.
you're Gina.
That's
Gina,
right. But
Gina
this is
Kim.
later. I didn't know who the heck I was then. I was
So
like,
as you're rolling into Glam Slam, do you remember the first time seeing them at Glam Slam? Tell us about that.
Yeah, that was crazy. So I am upstairs, and all of a sudden, the screens came down. And if you guys remember, were you around at Glam Slam? So when you come upstairs, where he would sit, remember that booth where he would sit on the corner? There would be a TV over there. So there were TV in different corners. So I remember I was talking to somebody, and all of a sudden the screens come down, and he's premiering Damn You. And I'm like, oh, and as soon as that comes down, all of a sudden I look right under the street and here he comes walking in. And all I know is I turned around and I had two fists and I was like, my heart's beating. And this person's just talking to me. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I don't even know what you're saying right now. And I think I came out and said, listen, I'm not really listening to you and I'm really, because I'm like, you better not act stupid.
Right.
And he's there. And the first thing I thought was like, oh, he's really short. But then, and it's when he had I did think that, I'll admit it. I was like, oh, but you forget that,
Yep.
Then he had his Typhoon Do and that was during that. Right at the end of Diamond and Pearls is when I started seeing him. And I remember then I'm trying to calm myself down. And of course, I'm one of those, when you're nervous, what do? You act like a clown. So I'm singing and I'm like, damn you. And all of a sudden person's like, he's watching you. And I'm like, all of a sudden I froze and I left. So then as time went by, he would do, and I would leave.
So he
would look at me or stand by me and I would leave because I was scared. I don't know why I did that.
What was so intimidating?
Multiple times?
Things would happen after a while because I guess after a minute, then he started being there. You saw Joey. Joey was the head of security at the time. So if you saw Joey, and usually he would show up on a Wednesday or a Saturday, and we would know. And the minute you saw Joey in his raincoat, looking like, the detective. What's that detective? The robot. Just the old time.
Yeah. You
knew that Prince was coming because Joey would show up first, and then we get excited. So it was an every week thing. I have a calendar that I saved with all the times I saw.
So how frequently were you at Glam Slam?
Every week.
I know every week, but are you going like Wednesdays and Saturdays?
Oh yeah, I was staying.
Saturday?
There was a couple of times where I left here once also and came back. I was staying at a shelter, and I still found to go to Glam Slam like every Wednesday, every Saturday.
Who's your crew? Like, are you rolling by yourself?
I was rolling
with
at the time. I started meeting with Chea Castro, and she used to work at. She ended up working there, I think. Chea. It was just a whole crew of like Victoria was a dancer. Chea. It was this whole Tia. It was even since then, yeah.
Tia of like Tia and Dion.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
Dion, all of them, yeah.
So you're going to Glam Slam. Do you remember?
And I lived with a girl named Cherry Moon. She changed her name to Cherry Moon because she was a big fan.
Tell us about Cherry Moon.
Legally?
Yeah, she worked at Glam Slam, I think. And then she found out, and she was like, you could stay with me. And we stayed uptown on Oak. I think Oak Grove, I think.
Yep.
Oak Grove
And her
Street?
name was under the Cherry. Her name was Cherry Moon. She was nice. She let me stay there, but her name was Cherry Moon.
But you're going to Glam Slam
Right.
frequently.
Right.
Were there bands that were playing, or was it DJ sets?
Mostly DJs, but I think he played there once. But I saw Kid Creole there, Kid Creole and the Coconuts, which I liked in the way beginning of life. And I think I saw more. Yeah, I did, of course. Morris Day and the Time there, and they did the typical show.
Yeah.
Like
So you only think you saw Prince once
there,
perform?
there.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
There were times.
We know you've
when
seen
we
him
get
more
to-
than once.
When we get to Paisley, there was that summer where we prayed he didn't say "see you tomorrow night," and we were
Yeah.
like, "Please don't say it, don't say it,"
I
because
need
we were
some
up
rest.
that one summer. He had something happen every single night
Yeah, I remember
to
that.
where we begged, "Don't say it," because we have to be there.
'Cause you
Like,
have to
don't
be-
say
you
it, don't
can't-
say
you
it.
can't miss out.
Yeah, every single night. Like I had a child, and they were like, "Do you have one?" Because you're at Paisley every night.
Yeah, you're fine.
I was like, "This is Prince. I don't know what you're talking."
So tell us. So you're doing the Glam Slam thing.
Yeah.
What else about Glam Slam? You were talking a little bit about Erotic City.
That's when he started.
What's that all about?
There was a room in the back upstairs, and it was like a VIP room. And then you started hearing like he was doing after parties after the club closed. So I think that's when he might have stopped maybe Paisley Park for a second. I don't know, but this was when it was Erotic City, and he had Erotic City dancers. So
Tell us about them.
So they were. I think it was Victoria. I just keep on remembering
I don't
Victoria.
know.
It's so long ago.
This predates
They
me.
were all dancers that would dance in Erotic City. And then when it first started, he had beds everywhere, and there were balloons, and it was that whole and there'd be a DJ, and he would sit in a booth with the curtains all.
And how many people would be there?
Not that many, maybe 20, maybe 30, something like that.
And you'd be
There were
dancing.
tables, and it was cool.
Now, would you be talking to Prince during this type of a deal?
That
Like,
was when I was still like, he would come near me and I'd leave. He'd look at me and I don't know. I was just,
Did he want to talk to you, or were you like?
I don't know. I was just scared.
what was intimidating?
You were like,
I think
What
I
was
was
intimidating?
once he
I
gets
think it
inside
was
my
one of the-
6 foot circle,
Yeah.
I'm out.
I think it was one of those. For one, I'm I was very self-conscious. So you have to understand, you're like, I'm this girl from Queens, and what does Prince want with me? And
Yeah.
you're just like, I don't get it. And that's not what I never even thought anything like that. So he would do things like stand next, and I would just freak out. Or I would think I need to say something. And
Do you think you wanted to, like, maybe just
I don't-
subconsciously keep him at a distance?
I think he thought it was funny. Like, look at this girl freak out when I do the slightest thing, and I
Right.
think he got a kick out of it. 'Cause
That's why you think. And do you have a sense of why you were? I guess the word that keeps coming to mind is like intimidated or frightened by him.
Because when I was that kind of girl fan that you see every girl he dated and everybody who hangs around him are impeccably beautiful. So, in my mind, because of things, obviously I went through stuff. I mean, I'm a juvenile delinquent from back in the day that ran away. So you're thinking, what would he want with me? I'm not pretty. I don't look like that. I don't have a name like, the
Right.
special names that everybody seemed to have.
So that freaked you out.
It did freak me out, yeah.
So
And I didn't know what to say. I felt
Yeah.
like I was pressured. Like, if he's standing next to you, what are you supposed to say? Hi. Like in Purple Rain, Apollonia, I really like your music.
And also, like, I might screw this up, and I'm
Yes.
never gonna be back up here again.
Yes. And so it's nerve-wracking. But he did do that. He stood behind me once, and I was like, and I just couldn't take it, and I left.
And Gina was tapping on her shoulder, where Prince was tapping on her shoulder. He was tapping.
That's later on in years. We'll get to that.
So when was the first time you kind of break through and actually
Go to Paisley?
Well, no, I was talking more just
Like meet him in person, like actually get personal.
Words with Prince. It doesn't
Actually
even need
use
to be.
words, like-
It doesn't even need to get personal, but like be
Not
more
no
than just
personal
like, hey,
meaning like talking like you and me. Yeah, it was
personal, like not you running away.
It was one night. When you're at the Paisley, you notice who the bodyguards tap, and the girl stays after. You can tell who's hugging their friend. Like, I gotta stay. So there was a girl named Jody that we became friends with, that I knew that they were dating. And so
Jody
one
and
night.
Prince.
Yeah. So
Okay.
one night there was about 5 of us. It was when he tried to make it into a club. Remember those club date? Like he wanted it to be like a club. So it was maybe 5 of us in there. So we're in a circle, and Jody's like, I'm a Scorpion. I'm like, me too. And then, everybody, hallelujah, merry-go-round, holding hands. And all of a sudden, she gets, one of the guards come up and says, the boss is on the phone for you. So she gets on the phone, and I go to sit down next to a friend of mine. I swear to you, that's how it happened, because I've always wanted to tell these stories. But there was a friend of mine, Dominique, sitting there, and so I sit next to her, and, Jody's on the phone, and she keeps on looking back at me, and she's on the phone, and she's like, and I'm looking, and all of a sudden, Dominique goes, we have to go. And I said, I held Dominique, I said, no, something's about to happen. And next thing you know, Jody's going like this.
Waving you
like,
in.
come over here.
Yep.
So I go up to her, and she's like, do I have to ask her this? And I'm like, and she's like, how late can you stay out? And I'm like, anytime I want. And my heart's like, you know what I mean? and then I, and not to make it that way, but I think the fans should know that every mystique that he had, there was a human side, but this was truly how he was like. Then she's like, do I have to ask her this, or can I whisper? And she rolls her eyes. She goes, have you ever kissed another woman before? And then my heart really bounced. Now I know exactly who it was. And I was like, yeah. And really in my head, I'm like, no. In my head, I'm like, sure. Yeah, sure. Would you do it? Sure. So then next, we're in a car, and she's driving, and she's like, we're on our way to his house. And she's like, don't stare at anything. Don't freak out. Don't stare at him too hard. Don't touch. And I'm sitting in the car.
She's giving you
and
the
I am
pep
in the
talk.
car, and I don't hear a freaking word you're saying, because right now I am tripping. Where in my head I'm just staring, not even blinking. And she's like, don't do that. And I'm just sitting there going, inside going, oh my God.
How long of a drive is this? You're going from
2 seconds from Paisley.
you're going
Galpin.
from Paisley to Galpin.
2 seconds. You make that. I think it was a right on Galpin, and then you go, and then there's a shack, and the person came out, and she said Jody and Kim, and then all of a sudden the gates open, and then it's this unwinding road, and then it's purple and yellow house, and we.
So you roll in, you park, and then is there like a front door that you're walking through?
Yeah. The keys.
You can come through the garage door.
The house was obviously broken down. I mean, I'm saying a lot of things, but he had one of those houses that you had the keys. It didn't, you know what I mean? It didn't have. You had to use the keys to get in.
Yeah, it's mid-90s.
So it had the keys hanging in but we went in there and sat down, and of course, what did I do? I went all through the living room, touching every picture, looking at everything and she's like, don't, and I was like,
so before we get into like Prince showing up to this deal, like what kind of pictures are there? What kind
there
of
was I noticed there was a picture
what's...
of like a kid, and now that I look back, it was probably him and or him as a kid, like one of those, or his mom, and then he had that electricity ball that he used in Sign of the Times. And you know what? I am known. When I'm nervous, I can do some stupid crap. So I started putting my face on it, because I think I was trying to be like, I'm not really here,
and I'm not nervous.
And I'm like, and I'm acting like that kid that has challenge that needs to be talked to about, and I'm just like, and all of a sudden I feel something, and I can see out of my peripheral there's a balcony, and I feel like I'm being watched, and then I realized I was like, oh. And I ran, and I sit down at the table, and I grab whatever book is in front of me, and I'm pretending to look, and I see again behind, he jumps over the banister, because there was like a stair, and he comes to the table.
And he's wearing sweatpants and a t-shirt.
No, he's dressed like Prince, and you know what? And at that moment, you're freaked out completely.
Jean shorts on and flip flops.
He was like, no jeans. Don't you ever wear jeans? Like, don't you ever just wear jeans to hang out? And he said, let's go play pool. And so, nervous. Gina, of course.
But he's bringing you to an activity.
Well, he put one hand. He can tell that I was. I mean, obviously, you're watching me. Oh, who's this idiot walking around touching my stuff and putting your face on it? Right. And then he was like, "Oh, I know what I could do. I could freak." So he simply said, and I said, "Okay, I'm nervous. Never been there. Why am I jumping up?" Jody's just looking at me. So we go down in the basement, and it's pitch dark.
Jody's like, we're never getting invited back.
No, literally. and I go first. And I don't know why I go first. And Prince goes, be careful of my dead grandmother. And I was like, what are you talking about? And the minute he said that, my crotch and the corner of the pool table collided. And I'm so the first time I ever met Prince eye to eye. And this is how people can tell I'm telling the truth. Because if I was going to make something up, I'd make it a little more glamorous than that. He turned on the light. No, you
can't make this kind of stuff
No, you can't. There's things in my life you sincerely can't make up. And when I write a book one day, I'm going to get flowers and money for the rest of my life. But anyway, so he turns on the light, and he's like trying not to laugh. And I'm already like, I want to go home. I want to die. Just kill me now. And he's like trying not to laugh. And he keeps on and he's like, are you, he's like, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm fine. And at that, it was just I did the most, and I almost broke the pool stick and almost scratched the pool table. And
oh, man.
Do you feel like he gained comfort with you over the years, though?
I feel like he probably looked at me and said, "Who is this idiot, and why does he keep on lasting?" Like,
but he invited you to his house, so he got some sense of like comfort with
Yeah,
you.
after a while,
Even though he didn't, like, you hadn't talked, but you'd been around, he'd seen
but after
you.
a while, when I got a little more comfortable,
Yeah.
obviously, because what I realized is he was more human than people want to know, and he was. If you were nervous, he was more nervous. So once I got comfortable, made him comfortable, and then I started being normal. Like we had an argument once before, and he's like, "Just get something to drink." I'm like, "Fine." It's just, So I started acting like that, or then it started being conversations about all kinds of things like Egyptian times and, names, how they just spiritual things. We had a conversation once. He said, "What do you think about Michael Jackson naming his kid Prince?" And I said, "I don't know. What do you think?" And he said, "Well, what would I look like if I showed all my cards anyway?" And that's when he went to do the Chris Rock. And there's a part in that performance where he says, "Is this mic on?" And he goes, "Yee," and I went, "Oh, I get it." So because we had the conversation right before that. Oh, I'm gonna get in trouble, but
You're fine.
You can't get in trouble.
You can't get. Who's gonna get you
it's
in
the
trouble?
truth.
You can't make this stuff up.
Yeah, no, he
Can't
really
get in
did
trouble
say
for the
that.
truth.
Or when his baby passed, he had me listen to the song "They'll Come Back," and he was really adamant about it one time when I was really one of those moments where I'm like, "Oh my God, why am I in the limo?" And he's like,
So just slow down a little
listen
bit.
to this, yeah.
So you're gonna listen to we're gonna get to the song.
Okay.
So like, does he call you and like, "Hey, I'm gonna pick you up in the limo," or "I'm gonna have you come out here"?
Well, after that first initial meeting, then all of a sudden it was nothing. Like, and I had Jody live with me because her mom would get mad. He would call, like, we were all nocturnal, and any mother would be like that, and so she would get mad, and then she would call Paisley. There were moments where Jody and I would walk in immediately after the what do you call it? The metal detectors.
Right.
Yep.
The bodyguards would come and go, "Your mom called again."
To Jody.
Yeah, and I'd be like, "Oh God,
what are you doing?"
Yeah,
here?
no, she'd be like, "I really don't appreciate a rock star calling my daughter," and then she leaves in the middle of the night.
And these
Oh
parties
my
aren't
goodness.
happening. Just so people understand, these parties are popping and things are going on at Paisley. Like 1
of
o'clock.
Naughty, I remember dancing next to Naughty by Nature, and I was like, "Oh, Trench was right there." Or meeting D'Angelo and Gianni Versace. I went to that. I was at that part. I mean, yeah. Paisley,
Gina was at
everything.
all the Paisley Park parties.
Yeah.
How many parties do you think you went to?
I can only say it probably missed, and it doesn't take a full hand. Anything that had to do with here or elsewhere.
Between 90.
Oh my God! Every single thing, like literally, maybe missed 3 or 4 things, but then stopped once I had my, I have the 11-year-old. So for 10 years, towards the latter
part,
Right.
Okay. So let's talk about the limo and the song, because we were there and then we kind of flowed through 15 other things because you got a lot of stories, which we appreciate.
Which I've kept in. This is how way back I go. Grant used to be his limo driver. And Grant came and got me in this messed up car, by the way. And I felt really? But he was like, the limo is at Paisley. And he kept on going. It was like 5 o'clock in the morning.
Was
I don't
it
know.
his car?
I think it was Grant's car, because when he leaves, he parks the limo at Paisley and he went home.
Yeah.
So Prince calls him at 5 a.m. and is like,
Go pick her up.
Go pick him up.
But he's not going to go
And
get the limo.
time-
then
And
go
the whole
all way
time
back.
Grant's looking, and I'm in the car again.
Front
These
seat,
are like
just
dreams. And Grant's going, "What is this about?" Because it's so early. And I was like, I don't know. So it was just.
Were you sleeping?
Yeah, I was.
And you're just like,
And he would be like, "What are you doing?" And I'd be like, "Sleeping."
I want you to come and listen to the song.
Or just talk or come over for a second.
So tell us about this limo ride where he has you listen to the song on the baby's death.
I don't exactly know what happened, but I remember I was in the limo, and then suddenly he said, he looked at me and he said, "If you ever lose someone close to you, dear to you, don't ever say they're gone." And he constantly was like, "Did you hear me?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he said, "This is about my baby." And I think I got a little, because I looked at him and I saw emotion in his eye, and I was like, "Oh, I can't. I was like, "Oh." And he was really adamant about me. Like, he would stop it and say, "Did you hear it?" And that word, it says, "If you ever lose someone dear to you, don't ever say the words are gone. They'll come back." And that was years. And he was really like, "Did you hear me?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So there's a part of me that thinks maybe he knew that, in our lifetime he would pass, and he was trying to tell me something.
Had he talked to you about the baby before, or was there like confidence
He showed me
built
the
there?
emancipation. One time called me up at the office one night and showed me, "This is my baby and the emancipation. This is the ultrasound of my baby."
Yeah.
Right.
And I said, "Congratulations." And he's like, "On what?" I was like, "You're married to the baby? Hello." I used to be sarcastic. I was nervous, but I did get funny a couple of times. I would make fun of his outfits, especially the lime green one. I just thought that was weird. I was like, "Nice lime green."
And tell me.
And he would just stare at me.
So how would I mean, he knew you were messing with him?
I don't know, but plenty of times he got mad at me, or he would stand next to me and I thought I would have to say something. So I'd be like, I like your hair. And he'd be like, get married to it then, and walk away. And I'd be like, what did I do? I just like you. I don't know what to do.
It's like Teen
really
Crush Land.
Silly. It was so stupid.
So tell me about the first time you get to Paisley Park. Do you remember when you went there for the first time?
Yeah, I was pregnant. I was actually 8 months pregnant with my first. She's 28 now, so yeah. Okay. And I had her 2 weeks after. So 94-ish? Was she born in 94? Yep. Okay. 2 weeks after going to Paisley. And bodyguards. So what's her birthday? Prince wants you to sit down because he really doesn't want you to have.
What's her birthday?
February 24th, 1994.
Okay.
And my birthday is November 1st.
Oh. Yeah. Same as Delaney.
I knew that. I told you that a long time ago. You're just paying attention now.
So that's your first trip to Paisley Park is February of 94.
Pregnant.
Okay,
and he kept on walking between me and whoever.
Was there a show, DJ set?
It was just, it was the parties were in the atrium at that time.
Tell us about the atrium.
The atrium is where all the plants are underneath the pyramid. So you walk through the front, you would hit the metal detectors. It was before all the renovation. So the first things you would see is that stairway. That's the two-way stairway from upstairs. You would walk down that long hallway, and the atrium had like all these white leather chairs and plants everywhere, and the DJ booth would be exactly where To Whom It May Concern. Yep. That little room was where and then you would see him running around on top of the balcony, and it was so dark that you waited till the men and ladies room opened just so you can see something.
Right.
And it started where he had chefs, like you had cheesecake and these big strawberries and chicken.
I missed the
And we
chefs.
would run in. No, I saw it dwindle from we were spoiled to suddenly it was like 2-liter soda and a bag of chips. Like he was over it. Like I was like,
but to Peter selling
like we had
waters.
cheesecake. Like we at one time you had a chef like, which do you want? We'd be like, the chicken. And like, I mean, he really did the party real. It was like these tables and the payphone. Like sometimes I'll watch videos like The Sacrifice of Victor, I think it is, with Vanessa Marcel. And when she's on those payphones, I remember those payphones because that's back in the day. That's where the bathrooms were. Yep. And then he renovated and changed things around.
You just got to listen to episode 1 because I talk about the payphones. Because the first time I was at Paisley, I was calling my mom from that payphone. I'm going to be home late, Mom.
It's the most awesome thing. And all the plants and everything. Yeah.
So how many people were at these atrium type parties?
I would say, again, maybe 20, 30, not that many because it was smaller.
And who are these people? Like, are they your crew?
You know what we used to have to do? We used to have to listen to KMOJ, and Brother Jules used to either say there's a party and you would have to catch it, or we would call there and he would say yes or no, or we would call Paisley and someone would answer and say yes or no.
Talk to me about calling Paisley. Did you have that number memorized? You still got the number?
If I thought about it, probably. But it was back when Roger and this dude named Chull, I think. Like he was an Asian kid that worked the reception as well, and Roger and Chull. I think his name was Chull, yeah. Back when.
You knew everybody.
Heck yeah. The Tracys, both Aarons, the bodyguards. He went through bodyguards.
Both Aarons.
When Nona Gay was hanging around. When he had the twin bodyguards, the Tracys, we called them because they both were twins. He always had good-looking bodyguards. We were always like, hey, okay, let's not look at them.
Because there's Aaron 1.
Oh, Aaron, both Aaron, the tall Aaron, and then Aaron Leapins, and then the other Aaron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know both Aarons. We only met the first Aaron for like a minute, and then Aaron Leapins went to our high school, so we knew who Aaron Leapins was.
Then I've watched a lot of people come and go. Frank, he passed away. He used to be, I think, the row manager. Chief,
yeah. Oh, yeah. Chief died too, right?
I think so, yeah. And then I remember what's his name, Ponytail. I guess he was a chef or something. Like, I remember so many people that came in. He had a long ponytail. I don't know what. I think he was a cook for a second. Huh. Yeah.
So, do you remember your first show out there? Because you saw him in Madison Square Garden. Is your next Prince show at Paisley Park?
First show at Paisley. You know what? I think because there's been so many, I couldn't name first one. But I think one of the first times was we were in the atrium and right in front of the glass doors, there were like French doors where there was another room that had like a white couch and a TV, and over here was the kitchen. He was standing right in front of those, and all of a sudden he just started playing. So literally he was standing right in front of you and just was like,
What was he playing?
Just the guitar, and I think I was standing like, oh. But lots of times I can't remember because you're too busy. Like,
but no band, just him playing.
It was him guitar, and I think a few other people behind him, but it was very, very small,
very tight as far as.
Someone else wasn't Dion talking about that?
Yeah, he just started playing and literally standing right in front of you and just start playing. And I was like, wow.
And you had no idea that this was going to pop.
No, of course not. The only time that he started doing this when you started going into the bigger room and then you saw things set up. So then you thought, he might play. Yeah. And he would have you standing there. We would stand there for 4 hours. just waiting, watching Good Life on loop. and loop.
The video?
Yeah, so waiting to see if he's going to, yeah. Because, and he would change his mind at a drop of a dime, so you could be waiting at the foot of the stage for 3 hours and suddenly he's not playing. We would sometimes go in. Yeah, I think you guys remember those nights. We would get in, take our coat off, and suddenly it's, he changed his mind. The lights would go on.
Good night.
Changed his mind.
There was a handful of those.
Yeah, there were, for sure. The minute those lights go on, you're like,
we missed it.
Yeah, but when Takumi brought the guitar up, you're like,
or when you saw the guitar, you're like standing up. You're heck yeah. Yeah. God, those were the best times in life, man. I think you know how many times I would stand there and watch something happening or just anything, and just all of a sudden I would just stand there and look up and go, thank you, God, thank you, God, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I would just meditate on thank you. It was the best moments of my life. It was so cool. Who else is in the middle of Minnesota at 2 a.m. and you're standing next to Eric Benet, Prince is playing, everybody was waiting for him. It's just,
Right.
How many shows do you think you saw?
Oh my God, how many? Over 20 some years. I used to, and I brought my daughter there, and then he started going, take her home. And I go, no.
Why did he want you to take her home?
I don't know. He liked her a lot. He would ask about her a lot. So cause they hung out.
So your daughter and Prince hung out.
He really,
what kind of hang out? Like we're going
he would just walk by, stick his tongue out, she'd stick it back, and then he came to visit her at my house, and so they rode on tricycles together. Such a story.
Your daughter and Prince rode on tricycles.
Yeah, she was 4 years old. And we can get her on the podcast one day, because she was when she was 4, she said she remembers she couldn't figure out how the person on TV was sitting right next to her. And he was asking me, ask her if she wants to leave. Do you want him to leave? And she was she was just, her face was up against the couch. She was freaked out.
So was Prince riding a tricycle?
Yeah, I had 2 tricycles, and he got one. I just said that in an accent. 2 tricycles, and she got on one, and he got another. And I was really I thought you were here to visit me, but you were going home playing with my kid. So, and this is how you knew he was there. The toy guitar was in the morning was put up against the wall like a normal guitar. I was I left that. I was that's a Prince thing, and I still have that toy guitar.
So he put the toy guitar up
you know what it was? It was like having your friends over, meeting, and he was really into her. You can tell he was really he yelled at me too. He told me it was the messiest ass house he ever been in, and I was 20-something years old. I didn't care.
And you had a 4-year-old.
Prince was I'm going to come over and meet your Kim. So let's go, no, not today. I might clean, knowing that he doesn't repeat himself. You know what I mean? Right. And I was
welcome.
And I tried to tell my friend, we're just going to go there before we get there. It was the worst. Listen, if I was in front of me back then, I would have been you stupid ass. You will not have him go into that house, right? He was this is the messiest ass house I've ever been in. And then I gave him water in a big Hard Rock Cafe glass. And I walked away, and he was thanks for the freezer burn water. It was the worst. I can't believe he seriously, most of the time I knew him, he was probably this girl is an idiot and just needs to be coddled every now and then.
But it sounds like he was comfortable in your space.
It was weird,
with you and your
He yelled
family.
at me. He was you can't have her grow up like this. You need to clean this house. Does she even know what Easter? I was rolling my eyes by the time. I was it was Prince, and I'm getting a lecture. I was irritated after a second. I was I don't have a maid. Well, she can't live like this. And then Deanna was 4. She proceeded to run in the kitchen and give him a peanut butter jar. And he was where's the spoon? And she ran and got him a spoon.
So
he was
Prince
really good with her.
Eating your
I
peanut
pinched
butter.
myself. Trust me. I was sitting. I was this isn't happening. This is not happening.
This is not.
Do you think? He didn't have a lot of outlets for that kind of experience, right? He's got pressure. He's got
and
contracts
here's this normal girl
money
hey,
and, do you feel like he's unloading stress by eating peanut butter and riding trikes?
I just think he was a lot more human than a lot of people. The way that I look at it is this. After a while, we can joke around and say of course, he's not normal every day. Of course. You know what I mean? So
he's wearing lime.
But at the end of the day, what I realized was probably more sadder for him was every day he woke up, he rolled over, he was Prince. He couldn't go and do normal things. He couldn't be normal. And if you did, and I can't even imagine if you were him, if people did become your friends, how did you know it was for real?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that what I was trying to show him, even though I know I should probably not have had him in an
your house at the time,
you know,
right.
But it's real, right?
But
it's
it's
dirty
real.
And it's
like
real,
at
and
the end
here's
of the
the
day, I
Hard
was
Rock
like, you
glass
said
and-
you wanted to come and meet her, and I'm not perfect yet. I hadn't grown, and they were funny. But he was like, "Let me see your bathroom," and I was like, "Absolutely not." We had a fight about there was an apple peel on the floor. I mean, I'm admitting things, but in your 20s, if you're partying, you're not cleaning your house. And I learned, you know, I'm different. I mean, I learned because probably, but we fought over it because I got to the point where it was like, well, I have pride. You're not going to pick up that apple peel plumage, and we were fighting over it with our feet. I was like, no, you're not touching it. And he actually fought me over. So it was, I tried to be normal, but it was, I felt like
the
he probably
tension's
is
there.
like,
He's
he probably
like,
is like,
where's
she
your
is
vacuum?
crazy.
Because I'm going to vacuum real quick.
No, he bent down. He looked at Dion. He was like, your mother's very beautiful, but she's very messy. And then next you know, he came out with that song, how many food stamps does it take to get this palace? I think it's called the Fat Girl song. And he's like, a mouse would see this habitat. And I'm like, I really think he's talking about my
What song is this?
It's called Fat Girls. It's called Fat Girls. And he's
that
like,
song's about your place?
But it just reminds me because shortly afterwards I was laughing because some of the work, because it really was that messy. Like he was like, saw peels on the kitchen and I was like, oh, that's not that old. He was like, since when? I was like, yesterday. I mean, I was really that. And he was like, what?
It's fine. It's fine. I got a 4-year-old.
We were cooking. It's cool.
Yeah. I
And then
haven't slept
he
yet. Leave me alone.
we went into my daughter's room and her floor was just covered with toys, right? And he's like, how long has this been like this? And I'm just like, by now I'm like this rebellious teenager that's being yelled at by your parent. And I'm like, this is Prince doing this.
Uncle Prince here.
Yeah. And then I'm like, listen. And he picked something up and it was Morris Day in the Time CD under this toy. And it was when they were like, what time it is? And he goes like this. He goes, now I know how long it's been like this. I start laughing so hard. I was like, what?
Stop.
It's
Yeah,
so
and then
perfect.
Yeah, and then
It's so
what was
perfect.
what? Yeah, I know it was. I was like, you can't make it up. I cannot make this up. If I were to make thing up, I'd be like, he took me to Paris and we made love and everything was great. No, I really had these moments.
Apple peels and
roses
tricycles.
in the water. Yeah,
Peanut butters. Where's my spoon?
yeah.
So does he take a dip of the peanut butter with the spoon?
No. He
Okay.
just pretended, which was really
Okay.
cute. He
Yeah.
really acted like he was like, "Harmer," and I was really watching, like, oh my god.
Yeah. What's he like with a 4-year-old?
Very just like it. Seriously, he was really cute. You can tell he'd be really good with kids. It was really, really cute. He really played. He was really just. He had her pick up a sock and fold it, and he put it in the drawer. Show her. I was like, okay, great. Yeah.
Does she remember those experiences?
Yeah, she does, and she says because she was so young, she just couldn't articulate that this is weird. How is this person that it's on the TV
Right.
sitting? But she remembers. Yeah.
Amazing.
I know. And then when we left, the thing was when we were on the way, the funny part was he was like, what's the apartment number? And I said 106. And he goes like this. He closed his eyes. He looks up and I look at him and I'm like, it equals 7. And he opened his eyes. And
Was that something you guys would talk about? The number 7?
It just seemed that we had that kind of thing where I don't know. I just knew that that's what he's probably thinking. Like, what's the number, the numerology?
You knew.
I knew he was
where
into
his
that, yeah.
where his brain was going to go.
Yeah.
Are you talking to him on the phone or just okay?
Yeah. Every now and then, if he would call and say, "What are you doing?" or "What movie you're watching," and be random, something about like, "What do you think of my blonde hair?" or just random stuff. We're having a party.
He would always call you, right?
You know what? Remember, back in the day, it was the caller ID, so it would say 000, and I'd be like, "You answer it, Joni." So we would be scared because all of a sudden we're like, "What does he want us to do now?" Come over and get. And so I would answer, and he'd say, "Is Jody there?" Or when she was out of the picture and we became friends, really just, "Hey, what are you doing?" Or he had a habit of calling me while we were in Paisley, and he'd say, "What are you doing?" And I'd say, "It's your party. We're down dancing."
Oh, he'd call you. How'd you get your cell phone
in the lobby? I'd be told there's a phone call, or Aaron would hand me a cell phone, and I'd find a room to walk into that I wouldn't supposed to be in. And he'd be like, "Get out of there," and I'm like, "What's in here?" And he's like, "Get out of there." I would get in trouble a lot by him. He yelled at me quite a bit. "You smell like weed." Okay, thanks. I was like, no. I don't like that smell. Okay, well, no. Why did I get picked on all the time? He liked to pick on me. It was funny.
So that was your rapport. That was like your back.
Yeah, he would walk up and go, well, out of nowhere, though. That's what I'm saying is he would just walk up to you and you get, like, oh, hi. And you know what welfare is backwards? What? Farewell and walk away. And you're like looking around like, okay, thanks.
And would that be like the only thing he said to you that night?
Just, yeah, sometimes, yeah. Or we're making fun of, he would tell me a joke and walk away, or sit down and go, why aren't you dancing? And I'd say, I don't know. You just didn't put on one of your songs. And he'd go and
DJ sucks.
How's your daughter? And after meeting my daughter, that's all he would say is, how's your daughter? How's your daughter? How's your daughter? I would yell at him for that's when Jules was doing the DJ. And I'd say, stop bumping into the turntable. And he'd say, that's not me. I weigh a buck 05. That's Jules bumping into it. It was really funny.
And Jules had a bit of a...
Yeah, he was really
was not
funny
a small
about
man.
Yeah, he would share certain things, or just, I don't know. It was weird. Yeah.
Would he always talk to you at a party? Like, would
no.
he always? Okay, so sometimes you'd be out there.
No, yeah. Sometimes in the beginning.
Are you hanging out on the line then, like with the rest of us commoners?
Yes. Always. I never did. I felt weird, but every now and then Charles or somebody would come and grab me, and I would.
Charles was a security guard.
So it was never when I expected, and sometimes I would get that, or I'd end up in a club and suddenly he'd tap, and I'd be like, "Oh, hey," and then next we're leaving the club in a limo or something.
So then you drive out to Paisley first.
Or what? Or he would drive me home. Sometimes he would drive me. Yeah.
What a gentleman.
It was weird. I felt so weird. Yeah.
Yeah, like when you look at it 20 years later, or
at the time, you're just
25 years later. Yeah. Like, what do you think about? Like, I mean, you knew that Prince was Prince. You had a controversy album. You got your mom yelling at you for.
I'm thinking like this is some weird coincidental. I happened to be in the right place at the right time, and it just seemed that way.
What is like your biggest takeaway from him? Like, what did he teach you? Kind of in all those experiences,
what? Yeah,
and all
he
those
taught me how to be kind of, believe it or not, like more of a. He taught me how to be a woman and care about different things. It's true. Like I actually got clean. He taught me how to be a little responsible with certain things, and just to be me. And it's hard to explain, but he did. There were times where he would ask you a question and you just know that he knew, but it was like he was testing you, wanted to see the answer, and he made you think about things. I don't know. I did double think about how my daughter was growing up and things like that. And maybe patience. And after a while, you can look at it as it is sort of snotty to hang out with somebody one night, right? And we're drinking and everything. And the next night, walk right past you like he didn't even know you, see you before, right. Look right through you. And I used to be really upset about that. But when you get older, in some weird paradox kind of way, he was just being truthful. Like, I don't feel like talking to you. And I oddly enough, started respecting that. Like, he's not pretending. He wasn't pretending. He was just like, I'll do what I feel like when I feel like it. And you had to have a certain kind of skin to deal with that.
You couldn't take that personal. Is essentially what you're saying.
At first, I did take that personal.
But over time,
right?
You're just
over time, it's just like,
this guy's doing his thing, and who knows?
He's not saying anything. He's not like. I mean, I get it. It is wrong to do like not even hello. But I was like, well, he's being real, and when he wants to talk to you, he lets you know.
So how long did your interactions with him go? Like, were you engaged with him at this level, like until like a particular time, and then things shift and
and then I think just life, and then he started the first, it was before Maite, right? So it was a lot of Jody, and we were all hanging out, and that's during the
and he's dating Jody, so it's like Maite's around, but he's dating Jody, and Maite's kind of like something too, and
and Maite giving us dirty looks every now and then, but that's way, just for clarity, that was way before they probably even got. Once he got married, he really did stick to I noticed that, but it was different eras. Like I was there for the whole Get Wild. We were there for the whole taping of the VH1 takeover, and then the rock and roll lot. All that we were for a lot of things.
All that 94, and 95
and
era.
Went through Maite, went through the death of the baby, went through Manuela.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So was there for all just going through the phases of that. And sometimes he would talk, and after a while, just life, he wouldn't talk.
Like it just changes, right?
Yeah,
it's just different seasons of.
And I think he did believe if something was in the past, I think he did have a habit of like, this is the past. I'm just not. Right. I was actually lucky enough to feel I was still around. Yeah. And that's amazing. I think for numerous reasons. We didn't get totally involved, but we were friends. And I just dealt with it after I got older. I was used to it. If he's going to talk, he's going to talk. If not, it's okay.
When was the last time you talked to him?
I hadn't in years. The last time I saw him was when Larry Graham was playing at Paisley before he'd passed, and he hadn't even looked me in the years, because 10 years in a relationship, had a child, stopped going to Paisley, all that, and I was at there, and I was turning around, I was dancing, and he came, and it was years. Like he even did a thing where he walked past me and didn't look at me. But that night, I think it was a month maybe before he passed, I think whatever night that was Larry Graham was playing, he was walking in and he did a hip wave. But, to me, it was more personal because it wasn't like, hey,
Right.
it was at his hip, and he gave me the best smile and looked me straight. And I felt really, and I was like, wow, we haven't done that in 10 years. And that was a lot. And he stood next to me, and I thought I should have said hi, but
it was kind of awkward. You hadn't talked to him in a while.
People
All of a
say
sudden
that,
you were back in Erotic City, and you're like, I'm out.
you want to treat him like a normal person, but everybody
Right.
knows when they say that you can't just walk up there. If he wasn't in the mood, you would be embarrassed because he'd ignore. And so he's standing there, and you're like, should I say hi? Shouldn't I? Should I? It was weird. Yeah.
How'd he look?
He looked good at that time, but I did notice he was getting thinner. I remember thinking that. And I was
because this is something you'd notice.
Like, when you're hanging around someone, I mean, there were moments like literally after a while, I really was hanging out and just it was normal, and I knew I could pay attention, and I knew if I was there that last party that everybody says where he was like, I'm fine, don't worry about me. I bet you I would have said to you guys there's something wrong because I would be able to tell. So I feel like the universe was like, let's just give you the better picture of him smiling, because that would have bothered me.
It bothers me.
Do you think you would have tried to talk to him then?
I probably would have, but I think that's what makes me mad about the ongoing conversations about that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Why couldn't somebody stop him? What? Unless you knew him, you could say, I said no to him on certain things that I would keep to myself, and he didn't talk to me for months. So imagine if you tried to say something to him that he just, it doesn't make him a bad person. It just mean he was that, if he didn't take no for an answer.
Right.
And I know that if somebody tried to say something, they probably would have been locked out of, you're done, you're locked out, you're not working here.
Yeah, so there's only so much.
Yeah, people can speculate about what they think they would do, this, that, and the other, until you're in that situation.
But the dynamic's the dynamic, and you got to understand who he was,
and how he was, and it didn't make him. I don't think it. This is what it doesn't make him less. I think it makes him like. He was more human than people, and yes, he was a control person. Yeah. And like anybody else, if it was you or anybody else into something, you can't tell us nothing. Yeah. Come on now.
Yeah, he's got to figure it out.
You're going to be like, get out of my face. I don't want to hear. I don't think he was like that, but I'm just saying it's not as easy as people think.
Yeah, where do you think like that control kind of piece came from? Did he talk about any of his past with you, or kind of like
when I tried to talk about things that probably were the same, because I grew up very tumultuous, I grew up in a rough, he said, let's not talk about negative things. If anything, he was a person that was, don't do as I do as I say. Don't
do as I do as I say. So don't follow my example.
Right, because in other words, as we're human. We don't want, we're whatever it is that you're as a parent. You're like, don't do that to your kids and to your. That's what it was. That's how he was. That's literally how he was. He was more. It just makes it upsets me that people. That was what he hated the most. Was I think he just felt like, I'm a person who has this great talent at music, is what it is, of course. And like I said, well, you're not totally normal. You know that. But I think he just was human. He felt like, I'm just doing what I love. I do what I'm born to do. And yet I'm put on this pedestal of which that wasn't really how
Did he talk to you about that pedestal and the pressures of it? Or did you just intuit
I saw
kind of that feel?
Intuitively, like when you're a little drunk and you're like, everybody loves you, I love you. And he's like uncomfortable. I knew that. I was like, oh, you don't think that. You know what I mean? Like it says it in his songs. If you listen to, all the people say they love you and they want to help. How can they? They can't help themselves. And he had that. I pay attention to lyrics because I think from hanging out with him, he tried to tell you what he was really about. In a lot of his lyrics, he was really like that.
You got any other examples?
Just when I said that to him, we were in a car one day and I was like, everybody loves you. You're great. And his reaction was like just uncomfortable. As anybody would be.
Any other examples in the lyric front that you think kind of were tells of
how he was and stuff? June. Listen to June. It's telling you how lonely he was. I think he was a person that no matter how many people surrounded him, he just found that connection that didn't make him feel, like he wasn't alone. Listen to June. He's saying it's just another month. Cooking pasta. Somebody's birthday. You can tell he's just bored.
That's why hanging out at your house is like.
Please, he came to the freaking dangerous. I after that he had showed up. We were hanging outside. It's months after, and I'm like, I didn't sleep or eat for like 3 days. Prince was just here criticizing how nasty I am, and then months later we're at South Beach, and I see
South Beach.
South Beach is the club.
Yeah,
South Beach,
Beach.
Across from the Fine Line, right? And so we saw his Porsche come in the back. I go running. Sometimes the moments that I just knock on the window, he rolls it down, and I'm like, my house is very clean now. I got new furniture. And he looks at me, he's like, that's nice. And he
rolls those windows back up.
I mean, how many times he must have been like, I don't understand this girl at all.
I like the fact that you told him, though. You're like,
I was like, it's very clean. You can
I listened to you.
again.
I listened to you. Trikes are good.
And
I love the guitar.
Literally, the look on his face, he was like, he really was like nodding his head like, that's great. And just kept on rolling the window up. And I couldn't stop laughing. So he was funny with me like that. A lot, yeah. And then sometimes got irritated because I would act that way.
Let's go back to Paisley a little bit because there was so many.
Oh yeah, so many Paisley
nights.
things.
Do you have like a performance or night that just stands out in your mind as far as like him playing and performing or anything that just? It's like that was my favorite.
That first one I said when he's right like 2 feet away from you playing, or another one when he decided he was going to rehearse in one of the studios, and one of the Blackshires, Johnny, Kip, and they came and grabbed me, and we all went into this small room. I think it was probably a dance studio, and he just proceeded to have a little promptu. I think it was it might have been with George Clinton and somebody else, but it was with the Blackshire, and we were in this room. And there was like maybe 10 people allowed in there.
Just jamming.
Yeah, just jamming right there. That was pretty cool. I mean, that was a good thing. Yeah, that was great. That was like right there. You didn't know what to do. And Manuela was walking around saying, do you want some water? And we were all, it was intimate. Or what's another one? Those parties, that one time when he had a party when Donatella Versace was there, Gianni was there, Dolce & Gabbana was there,
What were they in town for? Just to hang out with him?
I forgot what party that was. I think that was a celebration. I don't remember but it was. It was, everybody was there. D'Angelo was in another room. And when I snuck in there, and the minute I'm like, nice to meet you, D'Angelo, all of a sudden Aaron's like, the boss wants you out of here. I'm like, I always try to get caught. I always got caught.
Because you were a known entity.
Please, he was like, I don't want her in there. Get her out of there. And he really had a bowl of Captain Crunch sitting. It was a private party, and there was a bowl of. I think that was Emancipation.
Could you eat the Captain
Emancipation? Crunch? That's another. That one was really cool.
Yeah, we were there. Mm-hmm. We were selling coffee.
Yeah,
when I say selling, giving it away.
Yeah, poorly
made because we didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah,
we snuck in.
We were there legit.
Yeah, we were working.
I think I remember when he first played Mad Sex, and we were all in the back, just dripping, sweat, just getting down. I remember it's nights like that I remember.
Yeah.
When we're all just look around the room, and every single person in the room is dancing and into it. We're all just every single person. That was the nights I remember.
Yeah, that Mad Sex deal. I remember it's a really weird image, but I remember Kirk had this towel. And he was on the stairs that were going up, and he was whipping this towel, and it was like mad sex. And dude, the freaking place was just it's like 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah, and every single person is dancing. Those were the special moments where you're looking around and you're like, literally, I would take moments. Or remember when he would put the stage, there'd be a huge platform in the middle of the room, and you could stand on that with the couch, and you're higher than ever. We would always get up there, and I'm looking around the room, and when it's every single person I was like, this is good. This is great.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it started getting more personal. I was happy for him for certain moments. I really saw just that performance when he sang Holy River.
Yeah, what was it about those times? What
do you
think it was about Paisley and the performances with that group of people? Because it was open. You didn't have to be. You didn't have to be D'Angelo to get in. I mean, Dustin and I were there.
And most of the time he did it for free. And most of the time it was free. You didn't even have to pay.
That was $7 donation. $7 donation. I'm in.
Yeah.
So what do you think it was about that space that allowed him to open up?
I think it was just literally his space, and he wanted, again, I refer to songs because it turned out I really knew that some of his lyrics, the same kind of people will magnet, we'll all gather in the same kind of place. And I think that was really his idea during those parties. And he was lonely, and he wanted to see everybody.
You're going to say Strays
of the World. Yep. That song's about come here, I'm open, because he would say to me a couple of times, he would say, everybody who's supposed to be here is here. That's how he would say about the parties. Everybody who shows up is supposed to show up.
Did he talk to you about the parties and
sometimes
why
he would
did them and kind of, just the what was he?
Sometimes he would just say, I'm bored. And I'm like, okay, I'm lonely, I'm bored.
So we were the solution to his boredom.
I mean, yeah, but that was fun. If you think about it, yeah, he had fun. He enjoyed seeing everybody enjoy themselves and be free. Just be free. It was, if you think about it, it was the one space for anybody, if you think about it, away from your daily normal place. You're in the middle of Minnesota at 3 a.m. and you're watching Prince or Erykah Badu. I mean, come on, that was a special.
That was
and
cool.
you're like looking around going, the world, no one else is doing this right now but us.
Yeah. So, and you're hanging with Jody as part of this. I know Teft lived with you for a bit.
Yep, Teft lived with me. Yeah.
How'd
He
you
just
meet
got
Teft?
accepted to the academy. I'm so proud of him.
What
Shout
happened
out
with Teft?
Teft.
Yeah, well, he got accepted. He's been asked to sit on the board of Academy.
Motion
Academy
Picture
Awards.
Arts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. Shout out to Teft.
Go Teft, yeah.
How'd you meet
You
Teft?
lived with me.
And how did he live with you? Because this is
I
wild.
think it was,
this guy's
you know
a
what?
Chicago
I can't,
kid
do you understand? Like, it's a long time ago, but it was Jody, him, and I. And, it was just one of those people like.
Are you living in the same place you're living now?
Yeah, it was.
So Teft lived on
Yeah.
26th and.
And Blaisdell. And he was
wasn't
going
gonna
to
put it out there.
MCAT. He was going to MCAT and he was a fan. Yeah. And there's stories.
And
that
you're
I
just
think he
like,
shared
and you're
with
just like,
Dustin.
you were just like, come on in, come
We
on
all
in.
just, I don't remember how we all clicked, but we all got along. And I was like, sure, you guys can all just hang out at my house. And that's what we did. And at one time, Teft and Jody and I went through Chicago, Cleveland, and someone else. We followed Morris Day in the time.
How was that?
That was interesting.
So did you just decide
Like
that?
Jody
did
would be
you
wearing
decide
the
this,
symbol and they'd be like, take that off over here.
Did you just decide this on a whim? We're going to go follow Morris
Well-
Day in the Time? Jelly Bean invited us on the road or?
I can't say.
I'm just,
It
I
was,
was, I
let's
was
just put
throwing
it this
out
way.
there.
It was not Jelly Bean, but it was two people who had the same interest. So I was helping that interest.
Foster that.
There you
Right
go.
on.
That I can't say is controversial.
Perfect. So,
But we were, it was cool.
how many shows did you see?
We saw a few, and we always got like Morris's brother would say, anywhere that they want to go, they're allowed to go. They're like, I got us. Yeah, it was fun.
So did you take Teft's purple car?
No, I wonder
With
if we
the
did.
Adore
I know
license
with
plate?
the Adore license plate. I think we might. I don't remember that, but I remember we had the whole
he
family.
He had like one of those. It was one of those nicer, newer cars where it had like the little
Yeah,
punch-in
the
code
Adore,
to
yeah.
get in.
Oh, yeah. That was
And
so
it
Do you
was
remember
very
his
class.
code? His code to get in?
I don't, but
Of course, it was 1999.
Oh, yeah.
It was a cool time though. We really did go do a lot of stuff. It was fun. We had fun. We were doing the whole Minneapolis whole thing.
So how long did you and Teft live together?
I'd probably maybe a year or two. I don't
Okay.
remember. It's a
But
lot.
but it was
you
a
know,
minute.
I'm one of those that we can do a lot of things in a short time, and so the time gets all.
Right.
But it was Jody, me, and Teft. I
Yep.
mean, I have pictures. It was always us three. That was fun. That was a good time.
Yeah, you guys were kind of a little crew.
Yeah, and then the first time that we met Morris Day and them, Teft Teft fell asleep on the couch, and Jerome comes
Yeah.
and brings a blanket and covers Teft. Teft's like, I can't believe this.
this.
It was really cute.
Jerome,
We're all
you're
like
so
hanging out.
you're so sweet,
we were
Jerome.
all hanging out, and we were just, and Teft just could. It was beautiful because it was real. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
it wasn't so much like people go, oh, you guys were groupie fans. No, it was like, you know what? These people had great energy, and you loved the music, and it was fun, and we all connected. And a lot of them are, like I said, more human than people want to make them be. So it became fun to connect and hang out.
And you were comfortable in those types of environments. Shoot, you'd played pool with Prince in his basement.
Yeah, that was stupid. I didn't even know how to play pool. I'd have the stick. He would like walk upstairs, come back down, and look at Jody and go, "Is it still Kim's turn?" And she'd go, and he'd go, "Ah!" He'd go, "Damn!" And he'd walk back. I was like, and I'm looking. You didn't even ask me if I knew how to play. I don't even know what I'm doing. And almost broke the stick and thought I was gonna. It was like straight out of a movie. Trying to be cool.
You're trying.
And I went to get the stick, and I was going to be like pretending to hit them, and the stick just goes all up against the side of his table. And I'm like, oh my God. And
when you say stick, you're referring to the pool
stick.
cue.
Yeah, because you know what I mean? Like, the pool, I don't know.
I know.
And I was standing by the table, and literally, because of the way it literally went up the side, and it was like, just scraped it. And I'm like, can I just go home? And Jody has her head down, nodding, and Prince is like, has his hand on his forehead, and he's just, and I'm like, I don't understand why this is happening to me.
It's just awkward.
It was very awkward, the first meeting. And then he, at the end of the night, took out his hand. It was like, nice meeting you. And he
Shakes your hand.
shakes my hand, and
What's
I
his
freaked
home
out.
like? Like when you walk into like his space, are you like, this is just like a normal dude's home, or this is Prince's home?
I remember he had a big giant, he liked Marilyn Monroe. He had Marilyn Monroe pictures, and it was white.
Really?
The living room was all white, and it was yellow. I remember
Do
little
you think
details.
Do you think he hung out in there?
Yeah, I mean, it was
he
a normal. He had a pantry, and there was like donut. At this time, he didn't become a vegetarian yet. They were into chicken. Like at one time, people forget he ate normal, and then we went into the veggie burgers. We all got into the same thing.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
we were in,
Of course.
But at one time, yeah, in the pantry was like Snapple and donuts, and he liked Tootsie Roll. Like he was into his favorite Tootsie Pop was the banana one.
And you're just hanging out on a
Yeah,
Tuesday
we're just hanging
or
out
day
in
it
his
was.
kitchen. Yeah, it was just, I don't know. It was weird.
Did he ever cook for you?
No.
No. Did you ever cook for him?
No.
No.
But he was really nice. He'd be like, "Are you, do you need anything? Are you thirsty? Are
Snapple.
you warm? Are you
Snapple
comfortable?" Yeah, well, that was when, he was like, "Go get something to drink." And I was like, "Fine."
So let's talk.
You know,
We talked a
from
little bit about Teft and kind of some of the relationship you lived with him. Let's talk about
Yeah.
some of the other relationships that you formed vis-a-vis Paisley Park. So talk to us about Peter. Did you meet Peter at Paisley?
Yeah, he used to always sell the waters and sit very quiet. And I'm one of those people that the more quiet you are, I'm going to mess with you because I don't know. That's where I come from. So, yeah, and I think I'm a Scorpio. That's what Scorpios do. The most quietest person in the room, I'm going to go gravitate towards you. And he was always quiet, and he just looked mortified. I'd be like, "Hey!" And he was like, "Ugh." And then we just eventually became close. So, yeah, he started out selling waters, and then after a while, he did the fish tanks. So he did them for Maite and to take the starfish.
When you say the fish tank, like made the fish tank work?
Yeah,
like,
he was.
I clean the fish. I feed the fish.
No, he was really
like these
good.
aren't like a beta fish little thing.
Saltwater
This is-
fish. That's a big
Yeah.
deal when you have
Right.
freshwater or saltwater fish, which starfish and octopus. Certain.
You got to do some stuff.
And I think he even did it for a football player, and he had sharks. So Peter was good at was informed on how to take care of those
How
things.
did Peter get?
I don't remember.
Like, where did he come from?
I don't know, but I know that he just
Like he was just selling the water all of a
But then
sudden?
it turned into other things. Like he really was doing. He also
Right.
did some websites at certain times. Was going to. There were
Yeah.
projects that were up in the air.
Right.
He sold water. He painted the house. He would do odds and ends. He went and took care of Haywood Baker, which
I wonder
was
if he
Prince's
just got
stepfather.
hired at Paisley. As,
I think he was just trusted because he was quiet and stood to himself, and that
Right.
was
Did his thing.
That
but
was
then
normal.
you guys hung out for years after.
yeah. We were like that
even
was
when
a-
you're kind of like not
yeah,
really
well,
part of
when-
that scene,
right.
you're still friends with
yeah.
him.
Peter was awesome. Yeah, I love him very much. He passed away.
Peter.
Peter, yeah.
Yeah,
He was awesome.
He was awesome. He
Yeah. He had a great soul. He was special.
yeah.
what was his name on
Cosmic.
Cosmic, right?
Yeah. Peter and I I talked to Peter every party that
Yeah.
I was at. Always.
And he was just really about love and
he pretty
happiness.
much, and he pretty much gave me like 2-for-1 waters because like I'd pay for one, then he'd give me one, and like him and I would just like we were always Peter and I were always talking like
we would
I
go
was
out to
there
the car and talk and forget. Like we would be at bunkers and we'd go out in the parking lot, just chill and talk, and we'd forget, and time would fly and be the end of the night. We didn't even go inside. Or at Paisley, we would go by the cul-de-sac or by the we would go sit there and look at the stars and just laugh and look at weird stuff. And we knew that was still Prince's property. It was cool.
It's like a whole scene.
Oh, it's a whole scene over there, yeah.
And a whole group of people.
It just seems very magical. He really had that air about him.
Yeah.
Anywhere that you had to go through, that Paisley or anywhere around there was all. And Peter, yeah.
Yeah, they're all like part of this collective group of people that were participating in this kind of
I
subculture.
think you had to have a certain kind of energy, and that's what worked.
Do you think people that didn't have that energy just didn't come back?
I think, yeah, maybe. Or people just didn't, I don't know, right? Sometimes
I
it
don't
would
know.
be
I'm
past.
asking
I don't
you.
know. I don't know.
What
Oh,
do
you mean
think?
like worked
Yeah,
for him? Or
I'm just saying.
people
I'm just
going to
saying.
parties?
Why do people like us keep coming back, and why do some people like, hey, I was there last Friday, and damn, I'm tired, I didn't sleep, so I'm not coming back.
Yeah, I don't. That's a hard.
Do you think?
that's
Do you think
something-
we're just different? Like,
Yeah. Well, most definitely. I think so. Yeah. I think we're a certain energy and collective that, like I said, the same will gravitate toward the same place, and he provided that place at that time.
And Prince might play.
And Prince might play.
That too.
I mean,
And what was it about? What was it about?
But
Prince?
what was it about for you? I mean, it's
What was
the
it about
freedom of-
Prince playing that brought you back too? Because I mean, you're not just going there just to interact with him. Because clearly, sometimes he
No, I
wasn't
really am
interacting
into
with you.
music. I really like. I would stare at his hands. He was playing the guitar or the horns. I'm really into that, like the live music, just the whole musicianship, and it's just music. It's just. I would really meditate and I really felt blessed at that anything that ever happens in my life. If I was standing at Paisley and he was before me, from the depths of my soul would pray and thank God. And one time Prince would say, whenever you see me and smile and giggle like that, why are you doing that? Because he would see me because I would get so excited.
Because you just had joy.
Oh, it was joy from the pit of my stomach,
Yeah.
just experience. It was just, I just loved every part of it.
Yeah, it's interesting that you say that because, like, for me, I just remember standing there at times when it's just like, I mean, it's late and you're kind of tired, but you're like,
I'll go on.
This is
like we're a zombie.
Like you think of how big the world is.
Yeah,
and
we're
you're
frothing
like,
at the mouth and we're thirsty and hungry and you feel like you did meth all night. But yeah, we'd go on for 24 hours more. You could take off your shoes. Your shoes are still stuck for women. Like it was still stuck in the high heel position because we did that for 8 hours.
Yeah.
You know, because we all felt we had to dress a certain way to go there.
But then y'all are carrying them shoes out.
Please, barefooted many times, taking things off, regretting it, and after a while just going, you know, F this, we're just going to dress normal.
Yeah.
Not
kind of normal.
No, Paisley was a thing. Like you had to go shopping. Back in the day, the girls, we went shopping at Victoria's Secret just to find an outfit. Like we were doing the whole
I know about bins that have the label Paisley clothes on them. I know all about that.
Or back when I heard a long time ago before even we started, he used to have a bar at Paisley and they stopped that because of responsibility wise. But so we would sneak in liquor in our backpack and we would be going in the ladies' room drinking. We did a lot of things at Paisley. Like it was our amusement, it was our club, it was our amusement park. We did everything.
Did you have friends that weren't part of that scene?
I think I even fell asleep there once and he was like, "Get up."
Do you have friends that weren't part of that scene? Like, do you have people that are like, okay,
that didn't even believe me many times, and a few that showed up and now back me up, like, oh yeah, she really meant it, you know. But yeah, a few people that never went and wish I could have shown them, and you can tell in their eyes they don't quite believe it. Yeah, but
now you're on a podcast telling the stories and
believe it.
I can name every detail of that
get to minute 4 of the podcast.
I can tell you what he had in his office, and he had that boat. That in a
bottle. What was the boat?
It was just like it was a little thing that had water in it, and it would
so it would just keep going back and forth.
You know what I'm talking about? Like a little thing that you buy, and he had that. It was neat.
What else was in his office?
The desk and the bed and the couch and TV. Like he had his office all equipped to just be comfortable. Hung out there.
Did you ever get to hang out in the studio when he was recording?
Yes. Savior.
Talk about that.
Savior is the one that I was in for that.
Really?
And I was going to ask Dustin later on because I'm not quite sure. There was a moment where it was a moment where he was like, "Come over, hang out. You guys just wait for me for 2 seconds. I just have to lay these tracks down for." And we went into the studio and there's a guitar sitting on every. I don't know. I think he would test us because we were afraid to touch a guitar, so we didn't know where to sit. So we're like trying to. Every guitar was just sitting on a cushion.
Yeah, you don't want to move it.
Right, we're scared. So we're sitting like very uncomfortably. And he's like, "This is only going to take a few minutes." Well, what turned into a few minutes, like a couple hours, and we know the song by heart and and he's laying the guitar or the bass.
And are you watching all this?
And so at one point, it was going on so much that Jody started lip syncing and we started laughing so loud that all of a sudden he said, "You better hush up or else you're going to be on this." And we were like, and I could swear in the Savior song in the background, it sounds like he says, "You better hush it up or you're going to be on it." I swear it sounds like he says that. And I'm like, but we were there for that recording. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And there's a few voiceovers on, the one of the VH1 things, I think.
Okay.
A lot of this where he sings "If You Got the Ride, Baby, I Got that whole thing. We were taken into a room where we had to do screams, like make it. Oh.
So we were
holding each other's hand like "Ah!" over a mic. It was so funny. And so if you really listen, you hear someone psychotically screaming. That's me.
That's you.
Yeah.
So you're on tracks.
Yeah, and then the video, my shadow was in A Whole Lot of Love in the Aladdin DVD.
Really?
Yeah, we green screened that.
Was that
yeah, it was at Paisley.
At Paisley, okay.
Yeah, and I knocked on the door. It was me and Julie. You remember Julie?
Yeah, I remember Julie.
We went there, and Julie goes, "You go and see," because we weren't sure. We thought we were. So I knock on the thing, and I see his shadow. He comes to the door, and he looks at me, goes, "Are you sane?" And I'm like, "I come in peace." And he's like, and he opens the door, and it was just me and Julie and Prince, and I think Chance, Howard, and we were... And a couple other people, but those are our shadows in one of the parts. You can see.
So that you're here at the perfect time.
It was like green screen, so he edited us in that when it was really taped in Vegas.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, and he was at the bottom of the stage with this camera, and I'm looking down, I'm like, great.
Well, I'm just trying to think. I'm wondering because I think he might have played that when he played that song when I was on tour with him. I think he used those in the background on the screen. So I think that might have been
the imagery.
Like he was just like, just
imagery.
pretend
Yeah.
like
I
we
think
had
so.
to do this, and it was
Right.
yeah.
We got to watch the
I've done stuff
DVD
like that.
again.
Yeah, and then there were 2 videos of Betcha by Golly Wow. There's the one with the
they
gymnast,
released. Yeah, I've
and then
heard
the one,
about the second
and then
one.
the first one.
The first one, yeah. Sorry.
The second one was the gymnast, but the first one, it was we filmed it in a room, and Jody is sitting at the piano, and then he moved me next to Tommy Barbarella, but that video never came out, so it's weird.
Take 2.
Yeah,
Someday,
we were in a
you
lot
never
of
know.
videos and things, but
What was the coolest one?
I mean, I can't name one. It's Prince. My goodness.
Just give us one.
Each
Give us a story
experience
for one.
Or
just
what are the songs that you
Betcha
were...
by Golly Wow. That one was, I mean, that was the first time I ever was around for a video taping.
Right.
And Nona Gay was around at that time, so she
Yep.
was advising. She was like, this is too much red. And it was interesting to watch that play out.
Right.
My God, it's so hard the things he filmed when he did Gold. Oh, the one that stands out. Now I remember Gold. I was there for that. And the Gold...
Sprinkle
started
dust from the ceiling.
It felt like it was I will never forget that moment. It was magical, and he looked, and it was just gold coming from the ceiling, and they had people spray painting things gold. It was a big giant, like you walked in this room full of a festival, and there was 2 big giant cameras on wheels, and you're like, whoa, I guess we're taping. And it was that moment where he's seeing, and just it seemed unreal.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like he's there,
Yeah,
and
and
he
this
comes
is
out,
not- and-
he
and-
comes out on the conveyor belt. That
Yep,
conveyor
yep.
belt, when he had that was
That was-
awesome, because he
that
would
was
do some
super dope.
dancing, and it was just like moving.
Yeah, that was the whole 95 scene.
then
That's
all of
when
a
we first
sudden,
went out there,
yeah.
that conveyor belt. I mean, that thing was sweet.
Yeah.
And he could control it with a click of the button with his foot.
That taping
So
was
he
pretty
would-
cool.
Yeah, and when the productions were happening, like when the film crews were there, like this is not like some small time. Like
You walked in and there were
janky-
cranes of these big
Yeah.
giant, and I was like, whoa.
Because there were janky productions.
Yeah.
Like there
Yeah,
were
yeah.
like, hey, just a dude in a handheld,
Yeah.
and like next week
No,
you're seeing
this
it
was
on
the
the screen.
tracks
Like
are laid
this,
down
yeah.
on the floor, and the
Like,
cranes
they're
are moving with
moving
camera.
stuff.
Yep, it was pretty cool. Yeah, I was there for that whole taping.
I'm in that video.
And then the one
You can see me. My
you
glasses,
you
jumping
can
up
see
and
a
down.
lot of people when you look at the crowd. You can see Teft and a few of them. The one with the girl that says, "I come all of us from Texas to meet the man." I forgot what that one's called. That might have been a VH1 honor. I don't know
I
which
think
one.
that's the VH1 honors deal.
And she, she says,
Yeah.
"I'm your soulmate."
Yep.
Yep,
Yep.
Yeah,
yeah.
that one. We were there. We were hanging with her. Her real name was Corey in
Yeah.
real life, and we were all hanging together, tight, like
Dave Chappelle.
yeah. And Dave Chappelle before he was
Dave Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle,
Right.
yeah. He told us to listen to Alicia Keys before she became even huge. Nick Acosta, a lot of music I listened to is because Prince was like, you should listen to this.
Oh yeah.
And you got hip to it.
Excuse me. Yeah.
So tell us about what you're doing now. You work at Bunkers.
Yeah. I worked that door.
You work that door at Bunkers. Bunkers, for all those that are
For the combo.
Everybody
hip
knows
to the
Bunkers.
Minneapolis
Dr.
scene.
Mambo's combo.
Mambo's Combo used to be every Monday night. Now it's every Sunday night.
Yeah. COVID changed a few things, but Sunday night, it's still that.
How long you been doing the door?
20-something years on and off, maybe. Or maybe 15.
Yeah,
That may not
but
be
you've
that
been there a
much.
minute.
I mean, I've quit a couple of times and
Yeah.
find myself back
And you
at
used to
there.
do more than Sundays, right?
Yeah.
You used to do, because you were there
Sunday,
when
Monday,
Dustin was
Tuesdays,
doing the new Congress.
and the new Congress. Oh my God, I was
So-
just
Yeah.
listening to that the other day.
You were listening
Really?
to the new
I
Congress the
love
other day?
Light Years, Sex and Light Years, my song.
Y'all on
Sex in the
Spotify?
Light Years,
Yeah, we are.
Oh,
doing it in the Light Years, baby.
So if y'all don't know, check out DJ Dudley D on
Oh my
the
God,
new
that was
Congress.
the best. And you know what I remember? Remember when
The best.
the new Congress just
The
started,
best.
and it would be like, it went from just like a few tables to suddenly, it
Oh,
was
yeah,
like
we packed
huge.
That place. We played there.
Oh,
like
that was
4
the
years
best
every Thursday.
It was the best time.
We
That was
had-
one of the best.
Give us
times.
that rendition of Light Years. Do that again.
No, I
That
can only
was
do that
so-
once.
that was
I can't
so perfect,
I can't
though.
repeat that.
We had Prince showed up to see us perform one time. And was
Yeah, I
like,
remember that.
And then he invited you guys back at Paisley, didn't he, that night?
No.
Yeah, there was a time he
Yes.
invited
Well,
me back
maybe
to
he was
Paisley.
there. Maybe he was there 2 times, but one time he came in and was like, "He's here, he's here, he's here." He's like, "Okay," like we switched our set. We were like, "Let's do this song," and we're like, "Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1." He was like, "Ba-dum, ba-dum." I was just like, I was just back there. I was just like, "Oh God!" Oh,
But you know
God.
what was cool? I think I was.
I was there that night.
Yeah,
I
it was
there
just
that
the
night.
fact that Dustin, it was the first of it. You know what I mean? At band-wide goes, we didn't have a lot going on with
Right.
Dustin. That was New Congress, kind of what that was the shizzle.
Yeah.
I liked it. That
Yeah,
was
it was
fun.
good. It was fun.
No, I remember that night. Like I can remember what the coat he was wearing because he had the purple coat with the fur, white fur on the deal, dude. I remember that.
He used to call.
I was like, I was so excited that he was there to see your band. I was like, that's the
I.
real deal. I was like, because how did he come to see your band? What was the connection there? I mean, obviously you,
right?
But then there was, I think, was it Ricky was like, hey, you need to go check this out, or he was asking about you?
I don't know if Ricky was playing with us then at that time.
Or was it
maybe
that?
it was.
I felt like that was the connection. Like somehow you had told him, and then somebody else had told him.
So he would come. I would DJ sometimes, or I would be DJing at Envy nightclub, and he would come hang out.
Envy,
so like I had invited him. Like we're playing at.
Oh, so it was you. It was your invite a couple times.
I was like come check out
dropping some seed.
The new Minneapolis sound or band.
Yeah.
No, it was really good. And then it seemed right. It seemed that whole circle was New Congress, Alex Rossi, Chris Lauren. It was just
check them out. Give Dustin some of them royalty checks by checking out the New Congress.
I don't see anything.
Do you get the royalty checks from Spotify?
No, I still listen. I listen to it on Spotify.
But we are on Spotify or all the streaming stuff.
All the streaming stuff.
What about some other times at Bunkers when Prince would come through?
That's a great question.
Most of the time, he would come in about 12:30.
Yeah,
and sit for
because
a couple
they would
minutes.
They only stay up until 1.
He would call sometime, and most of the
Who's
time,
he calling?
Bunkers, and
but
we would
answer.
Who?
Who? Like you?
We would answer, and he would try to disguise his voice one time, and I was laughing. I didn't laugh on the phone, but I knew who it was because he was like, "Is Michael?" Is Michael or Sonny playing? And then when I said, "Hold on, let me check," and then he realized, he literally tried to disguise his voice more. I was laughing because at first he called normal.
Right.
Or sometimes Kirk would call or somebody, or you would just get a call and say reserve the table, and he would come in at like 12:30, 12:40, just stay for like 15 minutes.
What was he rolling in for? Just to see some live music, just to like be seen?
Get
Michael
out of the
B. To be honest, I think it was after obviously Michael B. and the MPG had broken up. Michael B. and Sonny T. Yeah, that's who he loved to see.
Clearly, why wouldn't you want to see those guys?
There were stories of like Sonny would play and Prince would run up and throw money on the stage and say,
I've heard these stories.
Yeah, all kinds of like stop that.
Are these stories true?
Yeah, they're true. Once the money, I asked Sonny how much. He said, he threw him a good wad. He was like, damn, boom. He threw him a good wad.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was stuff.
Did you ever see him get up and jam?
The nights that he was, I remember those nights, and I was gonna go and I didn't, but he did get up and jam. Yeah. A couple of times.
What do you think today? Like I saw you there. Dustin and I were there. 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago.
Beginning of June.
Beginning of June celebration, and like the arrival of all these people from all over the country, all over the world that come into
Bunkers.
Cool. Like, what's it like to be like working the door and you're like, hey, Prince has ridden a trike and told me to pick up some apple pieces.
I mean, I don't tell them that until everybody hears it now.
No, I'm just saying, like, but you're
next year they're going no.
Yeah, but
now they're gonna know.
But you have this experience. You're working the door, Bunkers. Like, you're like,
hey,
this guy picked up apple pieces and played with my daughter, and they're coming in and they're dancing and they love his music. Like, what are you thinking when like they're walking in?
Because I feel I just feel bad that some of them didn't get to go to Paisley, and it's just nice to watch. Although because when you care about somebody and know them personally, it makes not the people fan wise, I get it, but more of other things. I get a little irritated. Like you could have shown him all this. You should have shown him all this when he was here instead of him feeling otherwise.
Yeah.
As far as I remember, if I'm incorrect, most of the time everybody had crap to say about him or make fun of him, or the columns were about, and this one and that one was talking, and this one and that one didn't want nothing to do, and suddenly he passes. Now he's the, we can't, and I was there for a lot of it, and I can say I won't name names, but you know what? When they go to bed, it does surprise me that they can live the lie of the fact that I was there for a long time behind, and a lot of you were not walking through those doors. And if you did, he made you pay. Yeah. And for you to, and so I have not been back at Paisley or do. That's why coming here today, I was like, finally, I'm ready to talk about some things because I wanted people to know of how fun he was. And there was not all these other things that they want to, he wasn't so superhero and he never did this and that. You know what? He was human. He was great to hang around with. He loved beautiful women and he loved beautiful music and loved the fact that we went to a place that he created. And he was just happy to share that. And I think we were all blessed to be able to share that.
You haven't been back to Paisley since?
No, I won't.
What, ever?
Probably not, no.
Why not?
I think for a couple of reasons. One, because I think it'll feel odd to walk in a place that I was, it's just changed, and I used to hang out here, and I know this.
Doesn't
and if I
smell the
hear
same.
something that's different, and also I don't agree with a lot of things.
Yeah, I get that.
I was, I think it's inevitable when someone passes things and people and stuff comes out the woodwork, but
Yeah.
I still disagree.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
It's changed.
There was, I'm going to be real. It's like, your friends you care about and someone passes, you want to look at everybody who's showing love now. Like, you should have done that when he was alone. Don't get mad, like yelling at everybody who was around saying, why was he alone? He was alone because you also didn't somehow do your part either.
Yeah.
And it is what it is.
When did you find out, or how did you find out that he died?
I knew right away. It was weird. I knew.
How'd you know?
I don't know. I just had a feeling. I was having weird feelings a couple of days before, and I actually caught it right at the second that it almost went viral. Literally, I read something right when it went viral, right before it hit viral. It said, there's ambulance here, and I started calling people already saying, I have a feeling it's him. And then I was hearing different things. Like this one was like, I'm on the phone with this assistant. That one, no, it says it's this one. And I'm like, no, I bet you it's, I just knew. And I think, I don't know, I just knew. I had weird dreams, and I'm one of those. I had weird little visions and dreams and things.
Because you and him had a connection. And
it was a weird, there's stuff unexplained. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like I would vision him calling and asking me a question, and then suddenly the phone would ring, and he would ask me that question. So whether people believe in that or not,
you guys had a connection.
It was some sort of something, yeah. And so that's why I knew. I just knew, and it was I can't even. It was like everything. The world tilted, and the magic was taken away that day.
Yeah,
it's taken me a long time to kind of feel that groove again.
But do you feel like it's kind of? I mean, it's different, it's just clearly, but
way different.
But it's clicked back into some I can see now, because I mean there was the grief is real.
The grief is very real, and especially if you got personal, people don't get it's a little different. It's just different. After you get to know him, if you guys start noticing, I not really stood in the front row a lot because it's weird to know somebody and you're right in their face. It started being like that. So I would stand to the side on purpose. So it's different when you know somebody you just care like that. All these accolades and the mural and everything. Yeah, it's fantastic. I did step back and look at the crowd and kind of wished an energy up to him saying, look, this was all for you. That's pretty deep, but also bittersweet because you know what? You should have shown this. He should have felt
earlier
this.
From the city perspective.
Yeah, because I remember many times he didn't feel that.
Did he ever express that?
You know that.
Or did he just kind of, was it just an undertone?
Right? As a fan, even if you were just a fan, you kind of felt that. I mean Siege, just all kinds of people always had something to say.
Right. Well, I mean, we would go out there and people would be like, Prince, what? He's still doing something? And you're like, dude, greatest musician, to walk the planet
Or what's
ever.
the number one rumor? He's Napoleon, he's control. I mean, it was a lot of negativity. So then after getting to know him and getting what his point was with people and things and places, even though it's hard to... I just got him after a while, and I have my qualms with things.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, clearly Dudley and I do too. So we got,
the thing it's hard, right? I think it's hard for fans to realize, you know what? He was human. He may have fallen into something that millions of other peoples and families have gone through with any kind of medication or anything. That's a whole nother thing. But what I'm saying is he was more human than it just upsets me that how he would never do this. And I'm like, you guys, we all have our stuff.
Yeah.
And I feel bad that's why he probably felt alone because people put him on there. Because even I, in the beginning, as I told you, it's uncomfortable. I was very, what's the word? He seemed very I was intimidated. Huge.
Yeah.
Right.
And I don't think he meant to do that to people, but that's because that's how we see him.
Yeah.
Right.
So he was essentially his intimidation was
what messed me up. I was just intimidated. If you're not secure in yourself, seriously, you're not going to sit next to him and feel all confident.
Yeah.
But...
Well, and I think too, he has to break through somehow with you, to be able
find that space.
And he was just as nervous too. Anyway, that was the thing. You know what I mean?
Do you think he was nervous?
Oh yeah, I know for a fact.
That's just
I made him more nervous by being nervous. You get it? You're already uncomfortable, and then this person's freaking out. It's not helping the situation
at all.
Yeah. And after a while, I think he just got irritated. They're like, why do you act so crazy? Well, because you don't give me like 2 minutes. Like, just give me a second.
Let me freak out for 2 minutes.
Yeah. And then, okay, it's you again.
Because was it how
It'll
good
be in the middle of a party and everybody's looking at you and you're, I'm all like, or you get in a limo. It's a lot. Just give the person a minute, celebrities. Like, just give them a minute. Just a minute.
And was it because of
We're
how...
a normal civilian.
Was it because of how he smelled?
Oh, God.
This is Gina and I's favorite topic right here.
Yeah, that is.
I'm very secure in my masculinity because this dude, like, I'd just be like, oh
my God.
I'd be like, oh, Prince is around.
He smelled so
seriously,
good.
I would smell the brother and be like, oh, look
And
over, look over my left shoulder just ever so slowly.
Yep.
And he'd be like, did you smell me? Or like, how'd you know I was here? I'd be like, oh, brother, you
yeah. And then even after he left, the air would just still, oh God, it's just dreamy.
Yeah. It really, I would describe it as dreamy too.
Ooh, it's just, you're making me go.
Yeah, no, because the smell was something
so
ridiculous.
Good, yeah.
So I posted one time on Facebook when Prince gave out the award, and I think it was Beck won, and Beck hugged Prince, and I put the Facebook post. I was like, Beck now is smelling the best thing he's ever smelled in his life.
It was true. And he was clean. I mean,
and essentially the comment back from freaking Gina Kim was, OMG. So true.
So true. Like, you just knew when he was in the room. You knew if he left the room.
Dude, and I remember, I got money that says if you ask Beck right now, hey, what do you remember about how good he smelled? So pretty.
And it's something that.
Do you remember how good he smelled, Dustin?
Oh, of course.
Like, did y'all talk about that like as brothers on the bus? Like, all right, we're on the bus, we traveling.
Let me tell you,
we going to Kansas City tonight, and we're just gonna talk about how good Prince smelled. You just can't rap on that stuff.
No, we didn't talk about that.
I'm adding that.
No,
to the
I remember what
Dustin.
I remember when you would tell me you would be on the tour bus and Prince he would come up with the Bible and you were like, oh great.
Oh yeah.
Here we go.
Did he hit you with the Bible stuff?
I'm trying to word it right. We had good talks about it because I'm into that. When I was in college, I took up world religions and I'm very into all that spirit. We're into that.
So
we would have even more new age kind of higher consciousness talks.
Did you go to the hall with them as he kind of
got in? I went once.
Tell
Not
us about
with
that.
him, but went there for Easter, I think it was.
Yeah.
But believe it or not, it was also because I studied religions. I was like, heck yeah, I want to go to Jehovah. I want to go check this out because this is part of my interest.
Yeah.
And he was with Manuel and they were singing. It was just interesting, their ceremony, more or less. It was just a ceremony. But he saw Deanna, and Deanna went running up to. We were in the church, and I'm like, I felt weird. You want to do something, but then you're like, oh my God, he probably thinks I'm stalking him now. And I'm standing. So, I was trying to hide, and then also
Deanna's your daughter.
Deanna, my oldest daughter, but she was young at the time. She went running and was like, hi, Manuel, hi, Brent. And I was like, okay, great. It's nice. Hi.
Did not go the way I thought it would.
No, and I stayed back.
Did you ever like talk with like Manuela and stuff? So like that was
she was
cool
nice.
too.
I remember talking to her before she even became his wife, and she would tell me stories of how like they would be working so hard. This will be the first night I get to go home and shower something because they'd be putting something together. Just stories. She used to drive his Porsche around, I think it was, and so people would think it was him. So they would throw tapes at her. She would tell me funny stories like that. And then once they got married, it was a little bit of a different conversation. It wasn't much of conversation after that.
Oh yeah, she changed a little bit.
Just a little. just a little bit, and that's a given. Who says nobody else would? I get it. It's okay. It's all good. In the hood.
When was the last time you saw him perform live? Do you remember?
No.
You weren't at the piano and mic?
That was my next question.
I probably would have got... You know what? But I was at the rehearsal for that. I was there when he came out and I can tell he tested it. He got on the keyboards one night and he did that whole thing. And I knew it was a precursor to what he was thinking about. And it surprised me because he came out alone. We were in the smaller room with the tables and the... the fire escape.
Yeah. Was that a normal party? Like, were there a bunch of people there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was...
But it was deep. For some reason, it made me cry. And I think what it was is because, like said,
did he play
I was
Girls
probably
and Boys
feeling
that
the
night?
energy. Yeah, I think so. It was a slow version, like the keyboard version.
You'd hear my woo!
And we were standing, and I got really emotional about it because it was something deep about it. I just knew.
Yeah, I did think that that's interesting because I actually, you're the first person I've ever said that to, but I did think that night was somewhat of a because the band was there.
Yeah.
Right.
Like he played with the band, but he was very kind of piano centric.
No, there was the moment where he literally didn't. The band was there, but he got up, didn't have them on stage, and and I was standing in the back.
Yeah, that was kind of that precursor. Like I'm going to do 8 minutes.
But there was something still. It brought emotion, and to tell you the truth, the piano.
The last time
it seems sort of melancholy, to tell you the truth. I think he knew, just had a feeling things were going to change.
Things were changing.
Mm-hmm. Think about it. Look at that whole piano microphone. It wasn't. There was a certain air of almost a little sadness to it. I just think he knew. I think, meaning you have a feeling that you may.
Time is
short, but you don't know exactly the time or what's going to happen or whatever. But I think he knew. I just think he knew. I think there were other. I think he knew it was his time.
I think there's. Yeah, I don't know if sadness is the word I would use. I mean, I think there was a sadness. I think there's truth to that. But I also think there was as he's kind of reflecting, I think there was a depth.
Yeah.
Like he was like, I am going to show kind of this like next level of myself, a little more stripped down.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little more stripped down. Like, And I think a piece of that was sadness. I think that's a piece of it.
And
but I also think there's other like I'm just gonna just show you me.
Yeah.
And there's sadness and then there's beauty and there's other stuff that's kind of.
And I do have my own thoughts. Like at a certain moment, I just knowing him, a little part of him, and how vain he was about his looks. I don't think I make a joke like. He's not gonna let the world see him get older. He's ready to go. He want to remember everybody. Remember him the younger.
Right.
Like I'm saying it in the real most, like knowing him as a person. He was not gonna let as age. Not saying he looked bad. I'm not saying that at all. But with the understanding of, I think he thought like the most of us do. You get up in the. He just wasn't gonna let the world see him if things were happening. He's not that type of person.
What do you think that was about him? That vanity, that kind of.
No, not in a bad way. I just think he cared. Like I think it's a smart thing. As a legend, what would you rather him read? He knew that we would be stuck with a certain image in your mind. What would you like? I have forever stuck in my mind that smile and that wave, where other people have. The last time they saw him was at the party where he didn't look too great. Yeah. Even though he was trying to convince everybody he felt good.
He caught Mick Jagger probably, and he was like, I'm not.
Nah. Right. No, I mean, it's interesting because, when I remember Prince, I always think of kind of like that 95, 96 Prince with the short do and kind of
the best band ever. MPG to me was a New Power Generation where it was Morris Hayes, Tommy Barbarella, Michael B, Sonny T, Maite. Like they had one brain.
Yeah,
it was fantastic, especially the whole trio of forget about it, Michael V, Tommy, and Sonny. Please,
and that's
are you
what
kidding me?
Slapped
please.
Mark and I over
don't
the
they
face.
have albums just those? Yeah,
coming back.
those were the best times for me. The best performances I think of him dancing and stuff when it was Tony Damon and Kirk.
Yep.
That you never see him dance like how he danced when he was with them.
Oh yeah.
The Arsenio Hall show is the best. I think those are the best performances.
Do you still listen to the music and watch
annoyingly,
the videos?
my children probably hate my guts and wonder why I won't move on. But I also know the bootleg, like the songs that weren't made. Yeah. Like I like listening to Silly Con, and I listen to 18 and Over, and I like the remix of Come On when he's like, I know you got it all, man.
Oh,
you don't care about the ones that's been around.
Boom. Did you go to the MPG Music Store?
Yes.
Because that's where I used to pay $1 to watch 18
They
and
used
Over.
to have everything. The oils. I used to have the oils. Remember the oils? They were, what were they called? He Peach.
Oh, yeah.
And he had all these, he sold everything there. Yeah, I hung out there for sure.
So
and
you were
upstairs
going
had the pillows and the video.
Yeah, that's what the 18 and over triggered my question there.
18 and over, yeah. Victoria was that dancer that he holds by the wheelbarrow. That's Victoria.
That's Victoria.
We were friends
and she was part of that whole Glam Slam deal. So like you're like,
we were.
I'm watching the video. I know the
my
people.
friends are on there. Yeah.
Do you hang out or hear from any of these people? No. Jody, Victoria, just
not to
moved on and.
No, not those people. No. Especially not Jody. I mean, that Jody, it was all about just hanging out with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So it just changed.
And I, I'm the one that said, don't run to the seats in a video. Wait till there's the last 2 seats left, which are by the piano. Jody, I was the brain. Like, guess where we'll have to sit if you don't run. When he opened the doors, everybody ran like, I want to sit here. And I was like, I held Joe. I was like, I see 2 seats by the piano, dear. Hold on.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, we're the only 2 standing there. And so I think that's what that was about.
Yeah, so
I'm being real because she turned, people turn out there when it comes to that sort of thing. People are just friends with you because of,
you were
the
connected.
situation going on. Yeah.
Yeah. So it just dissipated.
I mean, I gave you a place to stay that your mother didn't call Prince and curse him out for calling you in the middle of the night. I'm being real.
Come on, Mom.
She turned out to not be so loyal as a person.
And the world changes, right?
Yeah,
like
it does.
and we
Life.
and we see,
and then we get children, and then I got into a relationship, and that relationship was. It seemed that you get into a relationship, and I don't know if it happens for you guys, but for us women, when we mention Prince, that person gets quite jealous if they're not secure.
Right.
For some reason.
Yeah.
And don't tell them you talked to him once, because then they're afraid of he might call, which is
Was
true.
that true?
If he calls, you're going to go, well, heck yeah, I'm going to go, honey. But I mean, you need to
but it's
chill.
fine. Don't worry about it.
He's just He's just a friend.
He's
Just
a
Prince.
friend. He's a
He
Prince.
rides trikes.
He could just take me to Paris in a jet in 2 seconds. It's all good.
Yeah, so it creates a certain sense of conflict.
Yeah, I did. So I stayed home. So I missed, so the last 10 years, I literally started going back, I would say probably maybe 2 or 3. I don't even remember. Just, it wasn't that long before.
Yeah.
Right.
This last time. Like, I think when Third Eye Girl was just coming about, I think I just started
And
going
you got the
back.
wave as Larry Graham played, so that was worth something.
How did it feel after you
Came back? That's a good question.
It was weird. I knew that the type that it felt weird, but I felt happy. I was like, I'm kind of lucky because nobody really has. Nobody kind of stayed. I'm the only one that's from way back, and I think a lot had to do with what I mean. But I'm saying, like, girl wise and hung out with him. I was pretty. I'm pretty arrogant and proud of it. I think it's because, to be honest, and not to put him down or anything, but I didn't sleep with him, so I think that's why I was still around. I didn't. We were just hanging. It was cool.
You were friends.
I was too scared anyway.
Yeah, and you were,
I think there was one time he was in the limo and he kept on sliding towards me, and I kept on sliding away, and he's like, and I don't know why. I look back and I go, seriously, Gina, why'd you do that? I don't know. I was like, don't look at me.
You just wanted.
You were friends.
You were friends. You wanted to keep.
I wasn't that type of girl. Yeah, I wasn't. I mean, I liked him, but I just am not. At the end of the day, although it sounds like you act the way that I thought of it, you're still a man. You're still human. Just trying to. I was just normal.
Right.
Yeah.
I was stupid normal. You had to see. I mean, I would fall. I have done so many things in front of that man. One time, I think I drank too much.
No.
And I just went aimlessly. I'm older now. We don't do this. But the story goes that he went downstairs and saw that I wasn't there. He goes, Jody, where's Kim? And she said, oh, walking aimlessly through your house. And so he went looking, and I'm in the bathroom, and all of a sudden I hear, Kim? And I'm like, yes. And he comes, and he's like, are you okay? I said, I'm fine. And at the time, his bathroom was peach and white polka dotted. I remember sitting in the bathroom going, I'm in Prince's bathroom.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, it was peach. It was cool. But it was funny when he did that. When I heard Kim, I was laughing. I was laughing a lot. I was like, I'm fine. I'm not doing anything. I'm not looking through your stuff.
As far as you know.
Yeah.
How long did that go on that you were able to
hang out like
experience hanging out with Prince at his house?
Probably a full, constant. It was 1 full year of where it was constant. He said it would be in the middle of the party when Naughty by Nature was there. At one point, he would I hate making him see this way, but he really was. There'd be somebody upstairs he was talking to, and suddenly we're told, go to the house. So we went to the house, and then he would leave the party, come and talk to us, and told us to come back to the
party.
Go back to, yeah.
We just moving people around, and it's happening. There's parties, there's.
And I don't know. I'll tell you a funny story where he was with somebody who wanted to smoke pot, right? So I'm talking to somebody, and all of a sudden Prince's face comes between me and this person. He goes, do you know how to roll a joint? And I was like, why do this is my reply to him. I go, not if I'm going to get yelled at about it, because he would yell at me about that. Right. He was like, I'll meet you. So yeah, and so when I went to go roll it for his friend, and literally it was for the girl.
Yeah.
And he was like, wait, do you have to lick that? And I was like, what? And he gave me Avion water and a paper towel. I was like, excuse you.
Come on.
So you know what I did? So to be sarcastic, I stuck my finger in the bottle, and he went, ew. And it was just that's how he was. It was hilarious. He was funny. He was just so, or he'd be like, ask me where I got my boots. And you're like, oh my God, where'd you get your boots? Your mama's where I got my boots. Don't ask me. Or another time we're on the phone and I tried to be funny. Don't try to make a joke back, right? So we're talking, try to be funny. I go, you can't wear white after Labor Day. Says who? I go, Calvin Klein. And all you heard was crickets. And I start laughing because he probably just was sitting there on the phone. Because it's from the movie Clueless. Right. She says, and I'm like, he was funny. He made me laugh a lot. That's
It
what I
was
miss.
funny.
I miss the most. Is that just that?
Just hanging out, laughing.
Just hanging out and laughing. And it did feel magical. Of course it did. Are you kidding me? You're sitting next to Prince.
Right?
It felt magical. There's candles everywhere. It's dark. He had that going on. Heck yeah.
There's a certain ambiance as you're
Oh
rolling.
yeah. Yeah. It was great. He gave us port wine.
What do you? Yeah.
2 sips.
Have another glass
and
of
your
port.
old Jez was warm. Yeah, it was warm.
I
He would
always
give it
wondered
to
if
in
he
a
drank-
glass. I would be handed
Because
all
that's
of a
interesting
sudden-
because that's the Holy River lyric, right?
The
Have another
port-
glass of
right,
port and
yeah,
forget this.
Forget this.
So
yeah.
he actually is drinking port wine.
Well, he would give it to me. He would hand me a plastic cup. It would have styrofoam.
Yep.
Like a bodyguard would come out of nowhere and hand me this like plastic.
So you're
cup of styrofoam
drinking-
and a
you're
straw.
drinking
I didn't know what it
port
was.
in a styrofoam cup.
I guess that's
Good
what he
for
was.
you.
No, with a straw. It was funny. Yeah.
I heard he always drank his wine through a straw.
Yeah.
didn't
And,
wanna get
and
the-
one time we were hanging, I'm like, every time I said, hey, I really did want to know where the bathroom was, he would say, what? Do you want some more? Have you ever had it on ice? Have you had it in a cup? Have you ever had it in a glass? He did that every time. He was doing like a cat and hat thing. He liked to make us laugh a lot.
Did you feel like he was entertaining you then?
I
Like,
just
did you
feel like he was just hanging out. Like no, it felt like
this
you were
is
hanging
just
out
like
with your
this-
friend. Yeah.
He's just doing him.
Yeah. I didn't feel yeah. I would sit on the floor and just fling the cymbal on his boot. Just and he looked.
Just
I
click
just
it?
did the great. Yeah, because
Yeah.
Gina's like, I don't know.
Here I am.
Nice lime green boots, and he would just look at me.
You're a world class superstar.
Nice,
You don't
nice.
have. What did you call him?
You didn't call him anything.
Yes.
You know what? There was when Jody and I were leaving, he had the keys in the door. That's funny you say that. He had the keys in the door, and we couldn't figure out how to turn them, and we didn't know to say his name because and we kept going, woohoo.
Hey you. Hey you.
We were sitting there trying to figure it out. So yeah, I don't recall. I think once when he came to Bunkers recently, the months that there was a moment where he came in, I said, Prince, you smell good. And he said, thank you. So I don't think before then I ever really.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to agree with Mike. You think about it, we didn't really have to call him.
Right.
Yeah. What did he call you? Would he be
He
like,
told me he liked Gina better.
Yeah. What do you think, in your world, you got to know him personally, you got to hang out with him, you got all these great experiences. When you step back and kind of look at him kind of more broadly and like the legacy and like Prince, what do you think his impact on the world is?
Wow, that's a good question. Him back on the world. Oh, I don't. You know what? I mean, it can go from so many different categories, right? Musically, if we're talking musically, the things he did, you know what I mean? No other artist. I was explaining that to someone that I said, what other artists do you know? He didn't call his bandmates and say, I mean, I'm sure they collaborated, but most of the time he arranged, composed, and then called you and said, this is what you're learning. I mean, the things he did, the constant changing, for the people, I don't know, for the world, he was just... He really, when you listen to his lyrics, he was really spiritual, and all he really did want was peace and love, and everybody just kind of love each other and get along. And I think it's sad that once he passed, people are starting to see that, and all the things he did that he did quietly and didn't ask for credit for. And that is a true nature of a person that means well. You don't tell everybody.
Do you think, I guess I'll ask
And
you
I
this.
think he wanted to have a family and be normal and love and all that.
What do you think happens to his music as time goes on?
That's hard to say. That's a hurtful, thoughtful thing. I don't know who would you entrust to redo those things.
No, I'm not even talking redo. I'm talking about the stuff that's already out there.
The stuff that's already out there.
Like
they never get old. Do you ever get sick of listening to anything?
I don't.
Do you?
No.
So there you go. I mean,
Just
good
keeps
things
rolling.
Yeah. I still listen to, and I still have the same feeling,
Even though you don't want to go back to Paisley.
Purple Rain, not as much.
Yeah.
Because that was a lot, but.
Even though you don't want to go back to Paisley, like, are you excited, or are you okay with it being open for people to experience it and his legacy
that's
roll
how.
on?
Well, the legacy part I think is a harsh word because I just, I like to see what they're saying about such things, and that's to hear if the stories are true, whatever.
Yeah.
I think this is how I look at it for fans that didn't get to go there. I totally understand why they would want to go there. Of course, like I. If I was in Memphis, I'd probably want to go to Elvis's house just out of curiosity.
Yeah, check it out.
So I like that part of it. It's just on a whole nother part when it comes to the money and the things. And I am hurt by the fact of the three of us are sitting here, and you guys knew as well. He did have friends that were circle people that would surprise people that were fans. After a while, 20 years going somewhere, I'm sure he considered you know what I mean? And we didn't even get, I expected, if I was anybody working there who knew these over the years. You didn't even give us one party to say goodbye or even have a special moment.
Right.
When you knew that he had one, like I said, there was one year where he had one every single night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
So
there's
you
some
just
of
feel
us,
like-
if all the talking I'm doing, I wasn't just there as a fan. I was there. We watch him have relationships. He shared things. I mean, that's him opening his house and saying, hey, you know what? I want to hang out. I trust you guys to not get crazy in here and act, which we all acted great. We loved the music the way we should have.
Right.
And what made me upset that didn't trust the powers that be that are there because not one person decided to like, hey, you know what? He had a lot of fans that over the years really stuck by him and really have sat here that even shared some personal things with. And you didn't even let us have one party, one time, that upset me, to be honest.
Yeah. Just felt like they didn't.
You didn't consider that.
understand.
Like, I'm telling you stories that some of them may be sitting here going, whoa, I didn't know that. Well, of course you didn't, because you didn't have, everybody has a different relationship with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
But there was a connection that was authentic and
I think with
real
all of it,
and
with all of us, I
meaningful.
got to go there with you, with Dustin. I
Yeah.
mean, think about it. All the years, even you in your life, like we all went through, like if he was still here, he'd watch us grow up and have children and get married when you started. We didn't have relationships and did all that. That is real. And I just feel like we weren't given that chance to just feel that. I just feel like we should have had one party, even with Dustin and
Like,
the right people would have showed up and it wouldn't have been, we would have
Yeah.
done the right thing. And then you had a whole funeral. You didn't even do one for the like, seriously, I'm being real. Like, he had a party. We were in there personally. A lot of people were.
Right.
And you didn't even have a little memorial for us to be able to do.
yeah.
Because we were treated like, oh, you were just fans. He just had,
Yeah.
lots
Do
of
you-
times, like I said, we went in there for free.
Yeah. Do you think, that's an interesting phrase, just fans.
No.
You don't think we're not just fans?
No, I don't think so. Because
What are
he
we?
shared a lot. I think we were... Like he wanted to say, maybe an extension of a family. Like he trusted you enough that over the years we still went there and he shared and opened house. Like if you think, you know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
just
Right.
take that seriously.
Yeah,
and he showed us things before he even showed other people sometimes.
Yeah, I think
And that means he trusted us. Like, let me see their reaction and see how much Dustin enjoys this or you
Yeah.
enjoy this or Gina. If it makes them dance, if that means that he cared about what you thought, how you reacted in there, how you felt. I don't think it was just selfishness that he threw parties. I do believe he was lonely and wanted to have those, but we saw countless of performances, even from other celebrities, that we didn't have to pay hundreds of dollars
Yeah.
to see
Right.
right here.
more than just fans.
You turn around and you was standing next to Eric Benet, or over here was Chris Rock, and it was just normal. That's deep.
With them
to
white
me.
shoes. I just remember that dude sitting on the stage, and I was like, "Damn, them shoes are white."
I just remember going,
this was before
Chris Rock
Chris-
isn't as tall as people
and
think
this
he is too.
Yeah,
He wasn't.
and this was before Chris Rock was Chris Rock
Yeah.
too, right? He was certainly Chris Rock, but he wasn't like Chris Rock. Chris Rock, you're not getting slapped.
It was
by,
him and Mario
not
Joyner,
getting
I
slapped
think.
by Will Smith. Chris Rock. This was like 25 years ago.
Right,
Chris
right.
Rock. Yeah, I think it's interesting because as you look at the just fans piece, that's the goal of this podcast.
Right,
is
we
to say,
weren't. We had a lot to do with his life, and he shared it. He
Yeah.
shared it.
Yeah, he shared it.
His
we
wedding
participated.
reception, I went to that. He held
Yeah.
it at Paisley.
Yep.
So I just felt like even if you look at us as just, I don't care how other people see. At least we should have gotten a chance at least one more time to do
Yeah.
that before you made all the
Yeah.
museum-like things that were
All
going
the
on. It's
changes.
just weird to me. That's all.
Yeah, I think our goal here is to tell these stories and say, hey, there was this community.
He did interact. Yeah.
There were these people. There were relationships,
yeah.
and they had various degrees of relationships
Everybody
and
had- yep.
connections. But it was something that was more than just like, hey, we're
Yeah.
here one time and
Yeah.
gone. No, this is like decades of.
And he cared.
different types
you know
of
what I
stuff.
mean? He cared about, he said things. There was many times we're there and he was trying to present messages to us. And I don't know. I just felt like it was more personal than people think it was. For those of us that were really, that's a
Yeah.
lot of years
But
I was
kept
around.
going, kept going.
Kept going,
coming
kept
back.
around. Yeah. Went through 2 marriages watching that happen,
Right.
That's not just we're in the group, we're just fans.
Yeah.
We were in his lives.
I love it.
It was deep. It was a very deep moment. It's cool. I feel really blessed to have walked the same, in the same area, same space
Yeah,
as Prince and got to see and
like I always say too,
experience.
like what other artists do you know that
does this?
did that?
No, like who? I
You know?
hear that Taylor Swift has parties in her house. And
What?
Yes. Yeah, I hear that though.
We're in.
No, fans talk about that, how she came down in the living
Yeah.
room. I've heard about, but not like how he did. No, I think he was
Right.
one of the first people. Because
And-
we're talking about the 90s, but he was doing it in the 80s. Like, I know, Mark in the
Yeah.
in the wheelchair would tell
Yeah.
me all like back in the 80s.
You see him?
No, not anymore.
Yeah,
no.
we gotta find that dude.
I look at it. I kept up on Facebook though.
Yeah.
He named his daughter Paisley, and she's all big and stuff. It's just so people's lives were entwined in there. It really was.
And here we are at the table tonight.
Yeah, and he had a lot to do, I think, with people and things. Said things, made you think about stuff.
Yeah, I think he shapes a lot of people in a lot of different ways, and the legacy just kind of lives on through us. It's what we do. Thanks for hanging out.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
This was fun. I thought you did really good on the microphone. You're so fantastic. Gina was a little nervous when we started.
A little bit, but once I got going.
But this is good. We're gonna have you. We're gonna do some live streams. We're gonna get some things going.
Make sure you say hi to Gina when you pop into Bunkers next time to see the combo.
Hit up Bunkers.
Yes.
She'll say hello.
Make sure you have cover.
Yeah. Make sure you have
$10, okay?
We ain't letting you in for free.
We're not letting you in for free. That
band's got to get paid.
That's right. That whole
band's got to get paid. Gina's got to get paid. Bunker's got to get paid.
Well, I'm gonna get paid regardless.
Yeah.
But I make sure the band gets their.
You got to make sure everyone's got to get their cut of the door.
And don't come in there and ask me how much it is. The sign is right there.
Yeah, it's right there. It's big. You can't miss that.
No, there's some people that ask me, and I'm like, listen, it hasn't changed like in a long. It's gonna come on.
Yeah, come on. Pay your money and let's go.
No, but Combo is the best.
Combo's the best. You're coming to Minneapolis. Check them out on Sunday nights. Check out our podcast, Purple Highs, all the various apps. We're on Facebook. We're going to keep doing this. We're going to keep bringing stories. We're going to keep bringing events. We're going to keep bringing live streams. This is like part of what we do. And it's about sharing the experiences and trying to, show that side of Prince and what he meant to us and what he did for us. So we appreciate you coming out. This was super fun.
I liked it. Yeah, it was super fun.
Amazing.
We'll have to we'll make some more stuff happen. So thanks everyone for listening. Subscribe, tell your friends about us. We appreciate the support. I'm Mark Bondi here with my co-host
DJ Dudley D,
and this is Purple Highs. Peace and
Bye.
Be wild.
Be wild.
It's be wild.
Be
it's
wild.
Not peace. It's not peace and bye. It's peace and.
Okay,
peace and
be wild. May you live to see the dawn.